Here for a symposium on cybersecurity and career prospects 2023. So do you know what exactly cybersecurity is all about? So we all know that it is very important for us to get the access of the internet, right? In 2023. How many of you are internet users? Please raise hands if you all are internet users. Oh, we have some people those who don't use internet. Is it? अच्छा, I'll speak in Hindi. कितने लोग इंटरनेट को यूज करते हैं यहाँ पे? हाथ खड़ा करें प्लीज. अभी भी मुझे लग रहा है कुछ लोग हाथ खड़ा नहीं कर रहे, तो इंटरनेट को यूज नहीं करते हैं आप लोग. सो जो लोग इंटरनेट को यूज करते हैं वो ये बात जानते हैं कि इंटरनेट एक वरदान है और साथ ही साथ में उसके साथ कुछ थ्रेट आते हैं. उन थ्रेट्स के बारे में आज हम बात करेंगे, कैसे उन थ्रेट से हम अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम सोसाइटी में लोगों को अवेयर कर सकते हैं on those threats. That's what we'll be discussing today. So again, I think some students are coming and they're joining us. So in next 2 minutes, we'll be starting this symposium. Would request students to please settle down. Thank you. Mic check. All right, so I think we are all settled down now. So once again, a very good morning to each and everyone. So cybersecurity, as I already mentioned, it is kind of the need of an hour for us to understand the importance of this cybersecurity. How can we secure our internet? How can we secure our transactions? And how can we secure our more or less information, money, and a lot of things that we exchange today on over the internet. So we all use internet, right? Still, because I guess that over 90% or more or less 90% of the hands were raised, not 10%. So I just thought I'll just cross check. कोई ऐसा जो इंटरनेट यूज नहीं करता वो अपने हाथ रेज कर सकता है? ऐसा कोई है जो इंटरनेट यूज नहीं करता है? ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है. Okay, so we all know that we all are a proud सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया. और इंडिया यानी भारत हमेशा अपनी संस्कृति के लिए माना जाता है, हमेशा अपने ट्रेडिशंस के लिए, अपने वैल्यूज के लिए माना जाता है. तो सबसे पहला जो हम ट्रेडिशन फॉलो करते हैं, जो करते आए हैं किसी भी कार्यक्रम को करने से पहले, वो है भगवान के सामने शीश झुका करके हम उनसे वंदन करते हैं कि हमारे जो भी प्रोग्राम है, जो भी हम शुभ कार्य करना चाहते हैं, उसमें हमें मंगल दें. तो मैं लैंप लाइटिंग के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ प्रोफेसर बिस्वजॉय चटर्जी, वाइस चांसलर यूईएम. प्लीज एक बार जोरदार ताली से स्वागत करेंगे उनका. श्री शेखर दत्त, सेना मेडल से आप सम्मानित किए जा चुके हैं. फॉर आईएएस ऑफिसर, फॉर्मर गवर्नर ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़, फॉर्मर डिफेंस सेक्रेटरी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. प्लीज एक बार जोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए. प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर सत्यजीत चक्रवर्ती, इज द डायरेक्टर ऑफ आईएएम यूईएम ग्रुप. तालियां जोरदार प्लीज, कम ऑन. Mr. Balaji Venkateshwar, Chief Mentor, Cyber Defense, Cyber Vidyapeeth Foundation. Mr. Pradeep Kumar Sharma, he is the Registrar of University of Engineering and Management. And our Dean, Mr. Anirudh Mukherjee. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए इन सभी के लिए. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. तालियां एक बार जोरदार होनी चाहिए प्लीज, जोरदार तालियां. जयति जय जय मां सरस्वती जयति वीणाधारी। प्लीज एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए। जयति शुभवरदायिनी जगत का कल्याण करमा तुम हो विनाशिनी। जयति जय जय मां सरस्वती जयति वीणाधारिणी कमलासन छोड़ देव देख मेरी ये दशा शांति की सरिता महान फिर से तो विद्या की देवी सरस्वती माता के सामने हम गुजारिश करते हुए उनसे प्रार्थना करते हुए कि हमारे प्रतिदिन में विद्या की जो देवी हैं वो हमें बुद्धि प्रदान करें और साथ ही साथ में आगे बढ़ने के लिए आशीर्वाद प्रदान करें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे सारे ही अतिथियों का। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूं प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर बिस्वजॉय चटर्जी, वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट, फॉर अ वेलकम एड्रेस। लेकिन तालियां अगर जोरदार हो जाएंगी तो मजा आ जाएगा और जोरदार होनी चाहिए तालियां। वो ठीक है सर।
Good morning to all of you. Am I audible? Warm welcome to all of you on behalf of University of Engineering and Management, UEM Jaipur. And first and foremost, I'm thankful to all of you that you have come to this program on cybersecurity and its career prospects. So I'm pretty sure that you know that in coming days, cybersecurity is a hot topic. Hot topic in the sense that we need to secure ourselves from different frauds across the internet. Because to say the least, internet is our life. We are doing everything, anything that we are doing, everything that we are doing, somehow or the other, we are using the internet. You know very well that even for 5 minutes when we lose internet or 10 minutes we lose internet, we feel like that koi bhi kaam kaise kare. And we really cannot imagine that what used to happen before the internet came into the picture. So it is important, and I understand that all of you who have come over here do take cybersecurity as an important thing to consider and maybe a thing to take up for your future, for your career prospects. So that is the topic for today, cybersecurity and its career prospects. And who better than the best persons sitting over here. So we will be hearing keynote speech and interesting panel discussions, and then we'll proceed with the whole thing. To say in a very short way, talking about the place you have come to. You have come to this agricultural university, but this program is being conducted by the University of Engineering and Management, UEM Jaipur, and I am the Vice Chancellor of this university, UEM Jaipur. So, in very short, UEM Jaipur is an establishment of IEM Trust, Kolkata, which is the oldest, which had established the oldest self-finance institute of West Bengal. And starting from 1996 to 2022, we have consistently in West Bengal, we have recruited the topmost students to the West Bengal Joint Entrance rankings. We came in Rajasthan in 2009 when the government invited us after we stood first in a World Bank ranking, World Bank funded program called TECIP, Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, TECIP. And after that, ever since then, 2011 we started. From then onwards, we can always see our students are present in the top industries, in the top positions. And I'm proud to say today that wherever I go across the world, anywhere across the world, in top companies, somewhere or the other, somehow or the other, some of our students are always present. And I take pride in that because I believe that every feather in the cap of UEM has been given by the students. So we are for the students, of the students, by the students. And I'm proud, I'm always proud of the fact that our students are carrying the ship, and it is always in safe hands of our students. Thanks to our students and thanks to all of you who have taken the pain in this winter morning to come over here. I can understand the pain you had to face when you had to get up early in the morning, but still you came, which immediately shows that you all are champions by future rights, by your own rights. And in future, what I can see in front of me is a garden. It's a garden full of flowers which are yet to blossom. And I know that when it blossoms, we'll be having some great engineers, some great doctors, and why not maybe the President of India. Thank you for coming over here. And I welcome you all to say very short about just one last point about UEM Jaipur. To say proudly that UEM Jaipur in the latest rankings, which was published day before yesterday, again for the 3 consecutive years now, we are ranked in 2nd position in Northern India by the Institutions Innovation Council, by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. So that is about UEM Jaipur. And also we are listed among the top 100 mentor institutes of the country as listed by the All India Council for Technical Education. That is about UEM. I take pride in that. And I'm sure that you will enjoy the whole day with the dignitaries present over here. Thanks to all the dignitaries who have come over here. I am sure that your speech will enlighten us. And whatever we are at the moment, in the coming 3 to 4 hours, we will be few levels higher than whatever we are present at this point of time. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I had a big PPT to show because I thought that we will be having enough time and you will have to wait, but it did not happen. So I will not take any time to show any PPT because I am only eager to listen from the dignitaries and they know it far better than me. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much, sir. Would request Pradeep Kumar Sharma, sir, Registrar, to please join us on stage as we would like to welcome and say our token of thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Engineering and Management, Professor Dr. Biswajoy Chatterjee. ताली में जान नहीं, come on, एक बार जोरदार ताली लीजिए, please. अच्छा, wherever I go, this is kind of a light note. Yes, and I would also request VC sir to do the honor. Shri Shekhar Dutt Sharma sir. Shri Shekhar Dutt, he is the Sena Medal and he's also the IAS officer, former Governor of Chhattisgarh, former Defense Secretary, Government of India. So this is an honor, it's a privilege for us that sir is there with us. तालियां एक बार please जोरदार होनी चाहिए सर के लिए. Shri Shekhar Dutt, former Governor of Chhattisgarh and former Defense Secretary, Government of India. Thank you so much, sir. Would request Registrar, sir. May I request Dean, sir, to please join us on stage? And also Anish, sir, as we would like to welcome all our guests. So our keynote speaker and our guest of honor, Mr. Balaji Venkateshwar, Chief Mentor, Cyber Defense, Cyber Vidyapith Foundation. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Welcome, sir, and thank you for so much for giving your precious time to us. Come on, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं सर के लिए. Mr. Balaji Venkateshwar, Chief Mentor, Cyber Defense, Cyber Vidyapith Foundation. And now to our Director of IEM and UEM Group, Professor Dr. Satyajit Chakrabarti. May I request Anish sir and Dean sir and Registrar sir to please do the honor. Professor Dr. Satyajit Chakrabarti. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां दीजिए सर के लिए भी. He is the Director of IEM and UEM Group. Thank you so much, sir. And now, Registrar, sir, would request you to please do the honor for BC, sir, as he wanted us for the last one. But, sir, thank you so much. Please, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for our Vice Chancellor of UEM, University of Engineering and Management, Professor Dr. Biswajoy Chatterjee. So, I would request everyone to please, for a group photograph, can stand together. तालियां प्लीज एक बार जोरदार हो जाएं. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. बहुत धन्यवाद. Right, so time for us to invite our chief guest here to share a few words with us. You are excited, right? Since morning. So it's time for us to invite Shri Shekhar Dutt, sir, former Governor of Chhattisgarh and former Defense Secretary, Government of India, to please join us here and share a few words with us. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for Shri Shekhar Dutt. तालियां दोनों हाथों से जोरदार यहां से वहां तक होनी चाहिए, प्लीज.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all the honorable members of this conference sitting on the dais, and also all the important people sitting, including the students of the dais. It's a great pleasure for me to be here in Jaipur, in Rajasthan, where I started my career serving the nation. I was here precisely, how many years ago? 1967 onwards. And as you know, 1962, India lost heavily to China. And ever since, in the eyes and the heart of young people, this was very clear that we have to prepare ourselves for fight and win. So I was a student in 1962 and in school, and an article was written by the chief editor of, or editor-in-chief of the Indian Express, gentleman called Frank Horace, and he said, no time to panic. हार गए हैं, लेकिन पैनिक से अपने को ग्रस्त नहीं करें. Please don't waste your time with panic. Prepare for fighting and winning the war. So I wrote a letter saying that this is absolutely correct and we must prepare for the war. We must have equipment and training. So that was 1962, October. 1967, I joined the armed forces, army, and came here in Rajasthan to practice. Because practicing with men and equipment is part of the drill to win war. So just having hardware is not enough. You have to master the hardware and find the places where the hardware has to be carefully addressed. Otherwise, if you can't, then the hardware itself will let you down. So practice along with the equipment in the place where you have to actually fight. My area was Rajasthan and the target was Pakistani Sindh of Pakistan. So we did from 67 onwards, 68, 69, 70. Every year we did a number of exercises. And these exercises became absolutely clear for us that we are preparing, but we did not know when will that happen. We did not even know whether we will attack from one area and defend from the other. But all these things were being done. And almost earlier invisibly and later visibly by General Manekshaw. So while doing these exercises, I found I was on the lead. Actually, my position was as the authorized OP, authorized observation officer. My job was to see where the Pakistanis or the enemy is and then target the enemy with artillery, weapons or air force. So my job was to kill. मतलब कोई ऐसा वो नहीं था कि जिसमें कि we fire a shot and it doesn't. So our target was to devastate the enemy at whatever place they were, and I was sitting on the first tank. While doing these exercises, at that time, while doing the exercises, we didn't have the tanks. We used to do the exercises on jeep or even camel's back. While doing these exercises, a particular group of officers, they were called ACT with tentacle. They follow the lead tank or lead people. They follow, and then whatever targets I tell, the ACT with tentacle will convey that to the Air Force. Air Force might be 200 kilometers away, but they convey the same thing, and then the Air Force comes. Now, in the exercise, the ACT with tentacle lost the way and was captured by the opposition. And then the opposition started getting the cyber documents or the cipher documents. Cipher documents are basically deal with radio frequencies and all that. So I figured that this might happen in the real time when the war is done. So a chap and a party which was directly following me, it was called the Mike Party, M-I-K-E, Mike, M. It directly followed me. Its leader, a chap called Havaldar Keshav Singh, in fact, my troops were all Rajputs. So I used to tell Keshav, and he used to say, how, sir? How meaning how? Hey, yes. In Chambal words. He was a person from Chambal. So, and then we used to come change the radio frequency. manually. Every transmission after that would be on a changed frequency which was done by manual. खुद करना पड़ता था in the ANPRC radio set. And I and Keshav had mastered this code. Okay, how many, what would be the next frequency, what would be the frequency after that, what would be the third frequency, like that. And it went on like a drill. Now, this I'm talking of 1968 or 69 when we realized. So I realized that ये हो सकता है real life में. That this can happen in the real life. The documents which are with the Air Force or with the, with this ACTV tentacle. ACTV tentacle incidentally had an Air Force officer and an artillery officer. So in the war, the ACTV tentacle which was following at a distance, maybe a few kilometers away, was intercepted by the Pakistanis who were running, and they captured him. And after a little while, I found that in our radio net, there were strange words. So I knew that some others had got in, because most likely they were speaking in Baluchi. So I knew that. And after that, I immediately came into our drill, Keshav Singh and mine, and we did a manual transmission, change of transmission frequencies manually. So throughout the war, I didn't have any problem of my transmission, which was absolutely vital because if the Pakistanis had got, they would have known what is the target that I am firing at. They would have become alert. So throughout the war, my transmission was secure. So this was called manual hopping frequency. Now, we jump into 1991, when I was Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Defense, in charge of everything electronics, everything shipbuilding, everything project, big projects. And in my room in 1991, we had not yet had Israelis, no diplomatic ties with Israel. Of course, with diplomatic ties with France and other countries were there. So Israeli experts and French experts came to me and they said that now they have made frequency hopping sets, which automatically the frequencies keep on hopping electronically. Now, why I'm saying is that if as a user you are alert, then we can do what we did. In 1971, we had manually frequency hopping sets, manually. And in 1991 only, the world got the electronically frequency hopping set. Everything is designed by the user. User is the most important person. And if a user is careful and alert, then he can tell the technicians and the people who are dealing with technology what to do with the equipment, how the equipment should behave. And that is very important because we had far earlier, 1971 to 1991 is 20 years. 21 years before the frequency hopping sets arrived, we had done a manual frequency hopping. Now, today's talk is, or today's thing that we're discussing is cyber. So cyber difficulties are there with the hardware as well as software and also the protocols. Because you be careless in any of these three, then you are bound to face some of these difficulties, which we call cyber security issues. Why? Because if the protocol that you are established or you are lax and you are it's like cricket commentary or something like that. Everybody is saying everything and going on in a transmission. Then it is most likely also seen and heard by the our adversaries, and they will make whatever way they can use this. And if they have some details, they will either prevent transmission or they will get the key information from the transmission. Either way is going to be detrimental to our cause. But if you are careful, then with the same equipment, you can remain in communication, and the communication is effective. What you want is understood by your partners, and the partners do deliver certain things which is required by you. So all those things happen with good communication. Now similarly, if there is a problem in protocol, that might be, how many people are on listening watch, how many people are actually there, are they really required to be on the listening watch, are they really required to be having the information about the different frequencies in which the transmission is being operated, are they having the capability of interfering or jamming, or do they have any possibility of say corrupting the transmission. So you want an attack on X, but actually the transmission would show that you want an attack on Y, and Y might be your own position, and you are getting a fire over there. So these are because the protocol, there is something, you actually, the person or organization which designs the protocol has to be wearing the shoes of all these, whether it is friend or foe. And then only on the need to know basis, the transmission should be addressed. Many of these transmissions are oral or voice communication. Many of these transmissions are communication on the electronic jargon. It may not be even understandable by people, but it's there. So, and the third one is if there is a fault, is by design or by accident on the hardware itself. And there we are quite vulnerable because for a country of our size, for an activity of our say volume, enormous amount of communication is going on every day to and fro between different organizations. Organization to itself, that means if an organization is a bank, bank to bank, or if an organization is railway, railway to railway. Organization to other partners, that means railway to civil aviation or railway to highways, national highways. Organization to command and control areas. So each one of these are going on at many times, the same transmission in 2 or 3 different ways is being sent to the persons down, persons to the same level, and persons above. And each have to act differently. So enormous amount of these activities are going on. But if the system is designed by electronics which don't have what is commonly understood to be a chip or semiconductor, which has been designed in India, then the designer can do a lot of damage. They can put a bug. This bug can be, in case the chap wants, at a time when he requires it. That might be a day of the showdown, you know. He can activate the bug through satellite, through radio transmission, to any other means. And we have to be careful. So like I said, that if our protocol or the communication standard that we design ourselves, the user, is smart, then the moment these kind of things happen, we can go beyond it and we can live through for some time. But however, if it is completely bugged, then it becomes difficult. Even then, what the armed forces do is radio silence. So you go on a complete radio silence, you do not use the communication at all, but sporadic small bursts of communication at different frequencies is done so that crucial information is transmitted and crucial clearances are taken. And that is the drill which the armed forces follow, and they do it extremely well. But it's a difficult thing. But we are living in a place, in a time, when the dual use is far more important. Railways are going from, say, Bhuj to Barmer, and throughout on one side is Pakistani Sindh. Now, whatever transmission we are doing is also being heard by that. So, is it good that we transmit in radio frequency, or we should do it electronically through the line frequency? In the line communication, do we have the capability of understanding if there are people who are able to listen, or should you have a method by which the transmission, whoever starts or whoever is operating, is a normal thing, but the hardware itself enables the transmission to be garbled, so that if anybody intercepts in between, he would not understand what is happening, because it would not be a voice communication, it would be something completely different. Again, at the destination, this will be transferred back into the voice mode. So the person who is communicating is able to communicate, the person who is listening or who is being directed is able to understand. Now these things eat a little bit into the efficiency. Suppose the system requires 100% efficiency, it might work on say 90%. But however, it is much more secure than the normal ones. And that is what we do even in the Government of India, when we all have normal telephones, but we also have a system called racks. And in racks, it's always the communication is garbled, so the intercepting person, whether it is peacetime and nothing, the intercepting person's messages cannot be he cannot understand what he is interested. Now, all these three things are good, say, organization would continue to recognize that they exist, whether it is wartime or peacetime. And once that is followed, and we know, we will not be caught unaware. But if we think that, oh no, ये ठीक है, then there can be many other harm which a improper use of the communication channel can do. Say, for example, I'll give you many examples. Gentlemen, a police chap with me, and from morning till afternoon, and one he expressed that मेरे एटीएम कार्ड से 5 बार कुछ निकाला गया है, ऐसा मेरे पास में मैसेज आया. So I said, और मैं तो आपके साथ में हूँ, तो मैंने कहा कि तुम भागो जल्दी से, जहां तुम्हारा बैंक है, कहां से ये एटीएम से निकाला है. So we dropped him at a place, and from there he took a motorcycle and went to another district where he came from. And that district, when he went to the police, they said the police was his own, Haryana. They said that no, you have to report to the bank. So went to the bank. The bank manager, after hearing, and he said कि मेरे पास में मेरा एटीएम कार्ड तो जेब में पड़ा है और 5 बार पैसे निकाले गए हैं और बता रहे हैं कि 27,000 रुपए निकला है. तो बैंक ने चेक किया तो वो पता चला, हाँ वाकई में 27,000 rupees has been backed. So he says, the bank manager said, no, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, कुछ खराब हो गया होगा, आपको मिल जाएगा पैसा वापस. So I said, don't believe in that. You tell me which bank is it. So उसने बताया साहब बैंक है, बैंक ऑफ not bank of Indian bank. Indian bank is headquartered in Chennai. lost $93 million in one afternoon when 5 accounts were opened from Cambodia down to Sri Lanka. I think one account was also in India. And a proper authorized transmission was made, including one at the Federal Reserve Bank of USA, which authorized the clearance, and $93 million were backed in one day from Bangladesh Reserve Bank. Now, many of these things happen, but they are not so much reported because the loss is understood to have been recovered from the insurance. But during the war, and especially the kind of situation that we have, both China and Pakistan are not so friendly. This kind of a thing can happen. So, telecommunication, which is the spine of all the kind of communication, through that, financial communication, transportation communication, civil aviation, and both and the road transport, rail transport, ship transport, all these kind of things can happen. And similarly, you can have grid failures, power transmission. You can have the other aspects of completely, a few days ago, AIMS network was hacked. Now people will say, okay, what does an enemy of India have to do with hospital like AIMS? AIMS receives 50,000 patients every day. It's one of the world's most complicated, efficient, and hospital which does its work. 50,000 OPD every day. And if AIMS can be, there could be some communication, then the doctors won't get, or they won't even have the access to their own data about a patient, and therefore they won't be able to treat. They won't be able to exercise their judicial knowledge judiciously. So it's important. It will create a hell of a lot of disturbance in India. But I would say that this aim is not to disrupt. It is only to validate what they want. तो जो भी कुछ हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है कि ऐसा अगर सिचुएशन बाद में आया, उस समय पे I know, I meaning that an adversary knows कि हमें ये करना है. So they are validating what they want. So even hospitals patient, a large number of our operations are also done or validated with doctors sitting at completely different place. The doctor is he is a kidney specialist, and he is giving advice to the doctor as to how or what portion of the kidney should be removed. Now, if he can't access the information, or if he can't give, then that operation will not be successful. So you are doing telemedicine, and telemedicine can completely be disrupted with this cyber insecurity. So like that, we can have any number of activities which can be disrupted. And if I am my own adversary, I would use all these methods, and a good and capable organization would be prepared for all these things and would be able to negate. So now a lot of people say that, well, now we are going to have a ability to print our own conductors, print our own semiconductors. Now, it is right that it will, but in order to have these protected semiconductors in the machines which are already in work. You have to item by items scrutinize all the machines and then take the thing off, put your new chip or semiconductor, and again do an exercise of validating this transmission. It will take time. So we'll have to do it. Our hard work will, will be necessary. Now, I don't know what the people in dealing with agriculture uh, kind of should be careful. Actually, food security is a very important area, very, very important area. And enormous amount of food insecurity can be also achieved by, in case a clever say adversary wants, because we are transmitting all kinds of weather details, details about marketing, all the kind of thing through the same communication channels. So therefore, no large system is completely protected. And therefore, one has to actually understand and perhaps have protocols which will enable you to develop your own mechanism by which you get a proper secure transmission or information. There are a lot more things which can be sort of said if you start going individually into various items, but I'm not doing that because it will take time, and also what important is that the leaders, and which are all will be leaders in different organizations, leaders must understand the pitfalls and must know the kind of requirement in case any of these problems occur. And I wish all of you great success in whatever you are doing, knowing that the world is not always a very a kind of a dependable systems and everything. You have to be careful. You have to understand the systems and their pitfalls. I thank the UEM for taking this topic and put through a whole lot of very accomplished experts who will now be speaking, and I wish them all the very best. And I also wish the principals of UEM all the best for imbibing, getting their students imbibed all these areas, because then they can have a much better ability to decide the course of action of their organization. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. So this clapping says a lot. Thank you so much for sharing valuable words with us. Right. So moving on to the next one, I would request Director of IEM and UEM Group, Professor Dr. Satyajit Chakrabarty sir, to please join us on stage and share a few words with us. Please, एक बार जोरदार तालियां for Professor Dr. Satyajit Chakrabarty, Director IEM and UEM Group.
Respected Shekhar sir, respected delegates on the dais, respected delegates at this August assembly, my dear students, faculty members, colleagues, my dear seniors and my dear juniors. I'll keep my talk very brief. We are a little bit, behind schedule, but we'll try to make up schedule. I'll just say 3 points in my talk. The first point, I'll tell you that how I was forced into the field of cybersecurity. Our institution website was attacked and it was down. It was attacked by hackers from Russia and it was down. So without I was forced to seek help of cybersecurity professionals and our internal experts how to protect our website. And that is when we moved from the traditional hosting to cloud-based hosting. Where in the cloud-based hosting, my dear students, you all know that the code is kept in a separate place and the data is kept in a separate place. So like the traditional hosting, you put in a bug and it can completely run the scripts and it can tamper with your data. But in cloud hosting, you have the data in a completely separate module. You have the code in a completely separate module. So it cannot be run like that and it cannot destroy your data. So that was the first lesson, first lesson. The second lesson is called DDoS attack, distributed denial of service, DDoS, distributed denial of service attack, again in our website. Again, I was forced to conduct meeting with the experts, meeting with professionals, experts, cyber security domain, how to prevent this distributed denial of service attack in our website. So then I learned, my learning was not so much academic but very practical, on the war front learning, or rather I'll not use the term war front, but rather on the problem, learning by problem solving. So I learned that there is a concept called cloud firewall. There are companies who regularly track the data of attacks, and they completely blacklist those IP addresses from where the attacks are coming. So we immediately got the cloud firewalls up to protect our institutional domain, and we protected the attacks, the distributed denial of service attack. DDoS attack is very easy to do. You keep on opening instances and you keep on, maybe you keep on accessing the website. If you want to just block a website, it is very easy. It was very easy before the concept of cloud firewall. But now with the concept of cloud firewall, it is not so easy to just take down a website. But previously, 10 years, 15 years back, you could have just taken any website. Just keep on opening virtual instances and keep on accessing a website. Just try to overload the server. It was very easy. But now again, as I said, and also it is not so easy to overload a server, because you can keep on creating virtual instances. You can keep on increasing the capacity and space of the server by use of server virtualization. So nowadays it's not that easy. So that's the point number one I wanted to make. Point number two is regarding personal attacks. I was talking about institutional attacks into cybersecurity. Now let's talk about personal attacks. Now some of these attacks are not so much as cybersecurity attacks, but rather cyber hacks or cyber frauds. Even today I can show you, I got a message from an agency like just a few days back saying that we cannot deliver your package due to incorrect street information, modify the address online and pay the requisite fees to re-deliver. And there is a website. It is as if coming from a government agency like the postal service, but if I see the URL, it is saying usp-saidq.top. So this kind of a website just shows you that this is not from a gov.gov or .gov.in. It's not an authorized website. Number one. And number two, to reschedule your package delivery, you never have to pay extra fees. So that the whole thing that they are asking you to pay extra fees and all, that's they're just wanting to take your address information, take your OTP and all this information, and they will wipe your bank account clean. So this is one attack that happened last week. I think within another attack that happened, somebody created a WhatsApp profile using my face. From the internet, they made a search, got my thing and made my face, and somehow sent to my contacts that I'm in need for money. Please UPI me, or in WhatsApp nowadays you can accept money. Please send money. So immediately my contacts called me up. I said, are you in need for money? I said, no, no, it's a fraud. So I reported to the cyber security division of the police, and immediately send a message to that person that we have reported it to the police. Please expect the police to be knocking at your door very soon. So this is how the two attacks happened, and the third attack was even dangerous, personal attack. Somebody called my wife on a Sunday, and and that is where I want you to just hear with attention. She had asked for a change of electric connection, and somebody called her up, and she said, ma'am, you have asked for a change of electric connection, so we have to verify your information online before we can do it. And she had genuinely applied to the government for changing. So she said it's of course authentic, because nobody else will know. So she was like, okay, what will I do? Okay, madam, you please download the, I think it was a kind of a, like a desktop viewer, like you could view the entire screen. So she downloaded it, but she was, being computer engineers, me and my wife, we were a little bit suspicious. Why will somebody ask for a desktop viewer or a thing? Let's say, okay, let's still, somebody with the government is calling, let's still comply. So we are doing. I said, ma'am, आपका verify करने के लिए आपको आपका जो information है वो आपको कितना ₹2 ऑनलाइन आपको नेट बैंकिंग से करना पड़ेगा, ताकि आप वही पर्सन है जो ये इंफॉर्मेशन हमको सबमिट किया है. So then I said, okay. Still at that time also I was very suspicious. Me and my wife were still okay. But मैं बोल रहा हूँ आप तो देख पा रहे हैं, आप तो हम स्क्रीन में क्या टाइप कर रहे हैं आप तो देख पा रहे हैं, हम कैसे कर सकते हैं? So I said, okay, I'm doing it from a separate phone UPI. I'm sending ₹1 to this, ₹2 to this number, but from a separate phone. फिर नहीं आपको उसी फोन से करना पड़ेगा. फिर मैंने क्या किया, मैंने वो स्क्रीन शेयरिंग ऑफ कर दिया, ऑफ करके वो मेमोरी से भी उसको हटा के किया. फिर वो बोलने लगे नहीं आपने तो ये ऑफ कर दिया, ये कैसे होगा? फिर हमने समझे नहीं, ये तो आप तो पूरा you are just trying to see the OTP and all this information, and then we stopped it. So believe me, even being computer professionals, because these cyber criminals have become so intelligent, they are genuinely getting information of the people who have genuinely applied. Then they are calling them and doing all this nonsense. So, anybody can just fall prey to that. Because you have genuinely applied to the government for some change. So when somebody calls you, you know that is a genuine thing. So this was the second attack. So be very, very cautious sharing OTPs. In your email, always keep the two-step verification. There's a two-step verification where you can get a OTP or you can get a call in your number. There's a OTP tool. Always keep that one on. Just password protection today is just, opening yourself up to attacks. Never do screen sharing with another person. Okay, so these two I learned the hard way. And I wish you all the best of luck. There are some experts who will tell you more case studies and more stories and more precautions you can take. But from me, you please hear, just have the two-step verification on, and never do screen sharing with other person. Never share OTP with other person. Okay, good luck to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, this is very important for us to know that password is something which is also keeping us protected. But then, if we have to a authentication, verification, as the sir said, so that can definitely help us out. So next one, I would request Mr. Balaji Venkateshwar sir for a keynote address. So he is the Chief Mentor of Cyber Defense from Cyber Vidyapeeth Foundation. So please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for Mr. Balaji Venkateshwar. Panel, we request you to please turn on the lights. पैनल से रिक्वेस्ट है थोड़ा सा लाइट प्लीज डिम कर दें.
इसको निकालो ना, इसको बाहर निकालो, चार्ज नहीं हो रहा. नहीं निकाल दो, निकाल यहाँ से, प्लीज प्लीज. नहीं हिल जा रहा है इसलिए बोल रहे हैं. निकालने में दिक्कत नहीं हो, हिल जा रहा है. हाँ अच्छा सुनो ना, इसको अपने पास रखो.
Why there is a dark on the back side? Everybody will see. Put the switch on.
Panel, we can have the lights on. जहाँ पर लोग बैठे हैं उनका लाइट ऑन कर दें please for our audience.
Namaskar. Good morning. Rashvidaniya. Vanakkam. Are you all with me? Not sleeping? Wonderful. I am Balaji. I think, those who have been born after 90, possibly I've started my hacking career as early as 92. By 94, I was a professional hacker. So many of you must not have been born when I started hacking, okay? So it's what you are going to hear is all about the confession of a hacker, okay? Don't record it because some of the things are critical and should not go out of this room, okay? 94, I think, the first thing I learned that what I do is wrong. 92 to 94, I thought, internet is all about, मेरे पिताजी की पैतृक संपत्ति, my father's property. Everything was accessible, including the internet was being managed by Department of Defense in US. And I used to wonder that, why they are giving everything free, And it's a costly thing. Why it should come free to everybody? And always I used to have suspicion, something is free, something is fishy. And it all started in 91. And 94, when I looked into some information, it was so critical, I never knew. I realized it only 10 years after that, actually. I was dull. I was a little dumb, actually. So I gave that information to military intelligence group. And they said, hey, how did you get this information? And what was the information? It was the precise longitude and latitude of nuclear submarines placed of US government across the globe. And only that day I realized, everybody was happy, but I was unable to find the reason why they are all so happy about this information, because this is just a piece of information. For me, I was not smart enough to know that it is something very critical information for a country. But one thing I realized that I am doing something obnoxious because these people are so happy and they're ready to give me anything I want. So it all started there. I never thought that it will be such a weird world. 30 years of journey in cyber defense area, both on offensive side as well as on defensive side. I realized one thing, that world has changed so much. It's very difficult to manage it, and it has become absolutely unmanageable. And the volume was so big that nothing or manual means. It requires automation, significant amount of automation to manage it. When I say automation, the response has to come from a robot, not from a man or woman. And that is what is the topic of the what discussion today. I'm not going to talk about cyber crime anymore because I'm tired of it. Because cyber crime impact the life of individuals. I'm going to talk about something which impact the life of humanities. Okay? So we'll talk about asymmetric cyber war. So let's understand the definition. What is asymmetric cyber war and what is its importance and what is the career prospect in that space? Are you all with me? Wonderful. So the topic, what career you all have in front of you, and we'll do the problem discussion first, and then we'll try to find out, how we can solve some of those problems, and then we'll try to fit in
what are the area of expertise that you need to bring, and how you bring those area of expertise so that you can fulfill the gap between the demand and the supply. One very important statement last year in Parliament, in one of the question hours, the report has been submitted that government says that India has a deficit of 1.1 million cyber defense engineers. 1.1 million, okay? I'm talking about 2021. And 2022, post-Ukraine crisis, world has changed so significantly. The demand of 2.5 million is alone in India, and globally the demand has gone up exponentially. It is almost around 3 crore people are required. And they need cyber defense engineer that is not produced by a single college in the country today. BTech cybersecurity has been launched 3 years back, and many of the private entity has embraced that journey. But the syllabus is almost outdated, and cyber defense engineering is not taught across the globe, including India. And that is where I am running post to pillar. This is my 804th talk of this year. We have not completed technically, 300 mandates this year. Last year, March to this year, March, I will be covering almost around 900 sessions. Almost on an average 3 sessions a day. Traveled more than 50,000 kilometers on car. I am on a man on the move with a simple mission. How to take this message to the student that what you all are doing is awesome, but a new career awaits you, and how to embrace that journey, and what should be the right ingredients that should be put in place so that you become a cyber defense engineer. So welcome to the session. So it's all about igniting your mind. It is a popular statement of our ex-president of India, Dr. APJ Kalam. It is favorite book, very nice book he has written for 2020. He has wrote that book in 2004. It's all about igniting the mind. Once I ignite it, you boys and girls are far superior than us. I really hats off to all of you. You all are born, engineers. You solve the puzzles faster than us. I know that some of the puzzles I could not solve, and when I throw these puzzles to the next generation, they solve not in days, in minutes. And I will solve. It's not the puzzles that is solved can be solved on the Google. So you don't search the Google, so still you solve the puzzle. A small dream, 5 years. So Cyber Vidyapeeth alone will contribute 1 million cyber engineers, cyber defender, or cyber research for the country. This is your beautiful room. Yeah, beautiful room. All of you live in this room. Or rather, all of you keep this room in your pocket and small mobile phone. All the sensors, the actuators that you are seeing here is a part of your mobile phone. Anyone you can guess, give me a number, how many sensor nodes you have on your mobile phone? Any one of you want to guess? If you come close to the guess, you get a prize from me, okay? Any one of you? Top notch. Any one of you? Show your fingers and say how many? No? No guess? Yeah, please. 6? 6? Yeah. So I'll give you, a very shocking revelations, okay? If you are using this phone, which I use every day, on a smartphone by a smart gag, I've got around 12 sensors, okay? All of you have, on an average, 130 sensors, 33 sensors precisely in your phone. If you look into their documentations, you will never find that. But when you actually decode those sensors and capture those signals and find the applications, the way they use it, 130 sensors are there. If it has come from Chinese phone, 154 sensors are there. Each sensor knows about you more than you know about yourself. Every phone that you carry gives significantly large informations to the mobile manufacturers and application, those who have put their application on your mobile phone. The day you will have a false footing on your staircase when you're climbing or coming down, nobody will watch you, but your mobile phone manufacturer will know about it. You had a fall today. You don't believe it? Whether you believe it or not, it is as true as I'm alive or you are alive. And each one of these senses can be exploited remotely. Have you seen that, you get an application and it asks you almost every permission you can look for. The music, you want to install a music application, what they ask you at first? Video, the mic, the application, the contact. Running a music, do you require contact? No. It's asked you everything. Why they ask you everything? Because they want to know more about you than you know about yourself. Your incipient need or your futuristic needs are known to them before you start aspiring about it. Have you noticed that in Google, when you get an alert, suddenly you are talking today about a electrical vehicle, and the same day, you start getting all the advertisements on your Google. You have seen that? It comes because they monitor you more than you monitor yourself. So, frankly speaking, a mobile phone is just one example that how many sensors node we have today. And we rarely know them, what they are, what do they do, what is the purpose of it. Your entire life is engulfed by millions and billions of IoTs and industrial IoTs across the world. Industry 4.0, I don't know anyone of you have heard about it. It's just for many of you, it is just around the corner. But actually, Industry 4.0 is already in place for the last 10 years' time. India is embracing the journey for Industry 4.0 in a very big way, where actuators and sensors define the success for your next generation manufacturing capabilities. India used to be the net importer of toys till 2017. This is the first year we have exported toys. Are you aware about it? First time, 8,000 crore of export has happened, and we have first time penetrated in the market which was being managed and maneuvered only by China. It's all because of a smart manufacturing capability which comes along with various sensors and actuators which actually drive the successful productions, zero defect productions through robotic arms. With all these sensors, they are hyper-connected. And hyper-connected world is all under attack. So let's talk about 3 dimensions of cyber which I am going to talk today. Okay? Is it visible? All of you can see? I can see it very well. So cybercrime is one thing that everybody talks about, so I'll exclude it from my talk because I'm going to talk about 3 important dimensions and each one of you should know about it. If you are not aware about it, you are part of the war and you are not aware what you are doing harm to your own country. So there are 3 dimensions. Let's start with the information warfare. Okay? Information warfare is not new. Even in the days of Mahabharata or in the war of the Julius Caesar, information war was part of the key strategy for any adversary. If you want to create a panic, send a message that the king has died. Everything is finished. Actually, king is not accessible, not died, but the message sends the wrong signals. So information warfare is all about poisoning the information with a fake information without letting you know about it. In the world of social media, it is very much possible. Think about it. If your mobile is compromised and if you send a message and get deleted in your mobile phone, what will happen? Other person who is connected with you believe that it has come from rightful source. Is that right? But suppose none of you have sent a Twitter message and Twitter sends message to each one of your friends. masquerading, you are the one who is sending it, then what will happen? Everyone will trust it has come from rightful source. And the statement which I am giving is not a Hollywood and Bollywood story. It is a real story. In 2008, a very unique thing happened in the Gulf. It is known as Arab Spring. Anyone of you heard the word Arab Spring? No? It's under your life because it's in your lifetime it has happened. 2008 is just, 14, 15 years back. Arab Spring, when it is all started, everybody was talking about, all the print media, news media, and video media was talking about that country's government is being replaced by a democratic government. But reality, what was not democratic government, it was a puppet government which was being introduced by definitive NATO countries to change the government and get the government of their choice. But the entire media was playing around it in such a nice way that a revolution is happening in the Arab world and they want to replace the existing monarchy government and they want a dictator government and they want to replace it. And it is a bloodless revolution. So there was a very interesting story, Tunisia and Egypt, these two countries, the government has been replaced. And when the research report came after 2 years, in 2010, again, not with the public, it came with, some very interesting hacker groups in the dark web world, that Twitter has been manipulated to overturn the government in the Gulf. The Facebook has been manipulated to overturn the government in the Gulf. And trust me, they did it very nicely. What happened that in case of Tunisia or in case of Egypt, the entire crowd has, 1 million people have reached to the president's house. The way it has happened recently in Sri Lanka. All of you have seen the Sri Lanka? They were enjoying it, the swimming pool and the king's rooms, the bedrooms and drawing rooms. So the message has been given on the Twitter that, Father, I am not well and I am stuck here. There is no car. Can you come and pick me up? What do your father will do? He will go and pick you up. Almost every person who was outside the home, their parents got this, or their wife or the husbands got the similar message. And everybody started going towards the place where the person is. The best thing that they did is another attack, a cyber attack on their traffic system. So traffic system has been hijacked. And all the green light was taking towards the president house, and all the red lights, wherever they wanted to go, everywhere was the red lights. The entire country, more than 1 lakh car, entered a small space of 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer. And there was a very nice announcement was happening on the television, CNN, the Al Jazeera, and the BBC. Everybody was showing that these people are revolting against the country, the entire country under the siege, and the president run away from the country's government is overturned, game is over. That's the power of social media. Boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, test, try and trust. Don't become the zombie. That message has come, you have forwarded the message. Many times message has come from the wrongful person, not the person who has actually sent you. And these messages are being manipulated. And that's a part of your information warfare. 2024 election is going to be the Mahabharata. India is growing very fast. World will try to dismantle it. Get ready for the elections. Use social media selectively. Search everything, that everything is correct, then only you will. I'll give you another example, okay, for information warfare. Ukraine war, all of you have seen. So I carried out a study on 400 videos, okay. So there is a very interesting story in 92, before you understand what I carried out. 92, there was a gentleman, he has been put behind the bar. And his crime was that he committed a crime and video camera captured the entire events. And his face was not visible properly, but his face was very much there. So the lawyer, of that person who was the criminal, asked me very simple questions in the court of law. Simple questions. how can you prove this video has been taken in the same place? Now the challenge was the video camera was having all the photographs, but there was no information where this particular photograph has been taken. He could prove it's a case of alibi. Alibi is that I was not there. And he won the case, and the case was settled. Department of Justice has written a note in 1992 that every camera, wherever you take the photograph or video camera, you should have certain parameters which fixes that this was taken in this place and only in this place, so that they can be taken to the court of law and proven through a forensic investigation that this case is true and nothing but true. Now I carried out a study on the metadata of 400 videos. The metadata is exactly what Department of Justice has responded, and it has actually, based on the various forensic practice of last 20 years time, it evolved, and now we have 36 parameters to check what is there, what is truth about it, which includes a lot of information, including the information what is the longitude and latitude of the place where the camera was there, including the place that, what was the light, which side the sunlight was there, it was a sunlight or it was a street light, and what was the ambience of those lights, and then 36 parameters are there. Now, out of study, 206 parameters appear to be changed. Clear case of fake videos. Many of those, around 206 videos I saw, the longitude and latitude was for Syria and not Ukraine. And it was being shown by the news morning and even it is Ukraine and Russia is losing the war. I found one photograph very funny and very interesting, and I'll share you that. There is something known as Stinger missiles, hand-driven missiles, which actually kills the world's most powerful T-90 tanks. So what they did, one Ukrainian soldier take the missiles and hits one particular tank, and like that 51 tanks are there, all 51 tanks, he kills it in minutes actually. Next 10 minutes he kills all 51 tanks. When I carried out an analysis of that particular video, I was shocked. Because that is one news all of you must have seen if you have seen the news items. It has been run even by the NDTV. When I carried out the study metadata, the longitude and latitude was of a place in Patna known as Patna. All of you are aware about it. Is that right? It's in Bihar capital. And it was a city, within the city there is a place, Moryalok complex, that was being seen in the metadata. I was shocked. I said, all the way, why from, there was no war in Patna, why it is Patna? So when I actually checked the location, a friend of mine who is an NIA, I just requested him, can you find out which company works for there? Because there has to be some company who has created this video. Only came to know that there was a next generation movie, advertisement for Stinger missiles has been created by through the VFX effect in that company. There is a $1 billion company, sits out of that Moryalok complex with 60 artists. They do it for Hollywood and Bollywood movies. So, ladies and gentlemen, information warfare is all about puzzling you with poisoned information to manipulate your mind, to make you work like a zombie, okay? You all understand zombie, is that right? Brainless acrania, no brain, they will follow. Run, you'll run, okay? Run on the street, you'll run on the street. You'll not ask question, why you run on the street? You become zombie. Part of information warfare is cognitive warfare, okay? And why I am telling this warfare activities, the reason is that we need to build countermeasures against that. Who will build the countermeasures? I am too old to build it. I've already taken retirement at the age of 50, okay? Now I'm 54, 55. I've taken retirement at the age of 50. Even if I want to build the next generation countermeasures for this problem statement, possibly I may not be capable of doing it. You all are born with a different DNA, is that right? Are you agree with the statement? Yes, sir. If you have been sent by the God as unique, you are unique. If you are unique, you can create something very unique which nobody else can create. We need to create a million cyber arsenals to make India resilient against our counterparts. In geopolitical world, nobody is friend. Okay? America is not India's friend. Pakistan is not India's friend. But they use a nice word. They call it, we are all adversary. I call it, all of them are enemy till they prove they are friend. But in geopolitical world, nobody is your friend. Everybody is adversary with minimum degree or maximum degree of enmity. Okay? So China can be your worst enemy and Japan can be your least enemy. But when it comes to there, when we started taking oil from Russia and gas from Russia this year post-Ukraine war, because we had to cut down our expenditures. The price of gas and oil was going up, skyrocketing, and we, being a friend of Russia, we got it at lesser price. Even Japan voted against us. Okay, so voted against you means they are also equally adversary. They are not your friend. So when you are actually looking for the country where government need to be favorable to those big guys, they will manipulate your mind. Next one is cognitive warfare, which is a subset of information warfare. If you have heard about Cambridge Analytica, this is just one name. There are more than 635 companies. They are all run providing logistical support to NATO organizations. They have direct access to the data. Actually, I gave this report as early as 2015 to government, that these 635 companies, we need to monitor them because some of them have offices in India and they can do manipulation of information in a big way. Cognitive warfare is all about how to make you work towards right and left, how to change your brain, how to make you zombie. They use psychological techniques and very refined techniques on social media to manipulate your mind. So suppose if you are thinking that India should grow under Mr. Modi, you will be sent message about good thing about Modi, and with subtle messages, if they want to take you away from Modi, they will send subtle messages. Suddenly 200 messages you will get it saved. Suddenly one fine day you will get nasty message about him, that what nonsense he is doing. And selectively that message will carry you away from him. It's not about Modi, it's not about Trump, it's not about John Macron. It's all about getting a stooge government in front of you. I don't know how many of you know that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter. Are you all aware about it? Yes. Do you follow them? Please follow him. I'll tell you the reason. Because he is disclosing one after other how the Twitter has been used to manipulate the mind of billions across the globe to change the government in that country. It's time to be careful about cognitive warfare. And last one is cyber warfare. That's my favorite subject. I love this subject because I spent almost 30 years on it. And yeah, I'm an anonymous man. I don't have a profile. I don't have a name, and you don't know my Janpatri, okay? So Balaji, you trust that this name is mine. This may not be mine, okay? You are seeing my face. I have got 2 lenses on my eyes just to make sure that you don't see the right man behind me, okay? You will try to take a videograph of me, and you do my face analysis. My real face will never come to you. I have been anonymous, and it's 30 years. I'll remain anonymous till I take my last breath, okay? You need to do that because in cyber warfare, you need army. And those who are army, they need to remain digitally silent. All of you, be careful. I believe in one thing, if you like Modi, take his photograph on your video, on your social media. What is the requirement of your own photographs? Who is going to verify your date of birth on social media? I have got 65,000 Facebook accounts, 635 Twitter accounts, more than 2,000, LinkedIn accounts, but none of them are mine. Okay. The number of people on the Twitter, the girls, they outnumber the total population of girls on the earth by 3 times. Not 2 times, 3 times. Everybody likes girls, I want to make a girlfriend. So I've got 55,000 accounts, more than 60,000 of girls profile. And they are beautiful girls from across the globe, okay? From Libya to Lebanon to Russians to Polonians to Poland, and also the girls from India, okay? And many of the boys are very close friends of mine. Social world is untrusty world. Please don't trust anything that you see till you verify it. Having a photograph of your father, it is not a guarantee that he is father. Test, try and trust, okay? So I'll talk a little bit about cyber warfare and the story goes on, okay? Okay, anyone of you have heard the major cyber attack in India in recent past? Everybody will talk about AIMS, is that right? All of you have heard AIMS has been attacked? Yes. If I give you a list of 64,000 websites has been hacked, brutally hacked, and their data in the open and the public space, you will not believe it. Frankly speaking, government do not have the manpower to handle the number of attacks that we are getting every day. India is already in podium stage. Many people don't believe it. Please believe yourself. You are doing awesomely well. You are being recognized. And not that, you are being favored. You are the best. No. I don't have to take a certificate from my Western brilliant Gora friends that I am the best. I know I am the best. We are the best. Trust yourself and things will change. Number of attacks, cyber attack has grown up exponentially. More than 490 government sites has been breached, including Defense Research Defense Organization, ISRO, BARC, and data is open and public. You will not hear this story because many stories are suppressed for good reasons. And I'm not here to tell them they are good or bad. They can be good because why should you declare that you have been breached and make it public? Learn from lessons and make things better. So there is a bigger challenge in our hand and talk about anything that is an attack. Okay, so I'll give you one cyber attack example which covers cognitive as well as information warfare. 24th February 2022, Belarus rail has been attacked. Are you all aware about Belarus rail has been attacked? Most of us don't know about it. Very few of us will know about it. Remember that. Belarus is a friend of Russia, okay? They are cousins. They live together. They move together, everything. They are not part of NATO. And they fight battle with NATO every day. So 24th February, Belarus rail has been attacked. Suppose if your rail is attacked here in this city, maybe 30 kilometers away from it, and you know that this train will not move for 3 days, what you will do? You will walk out of the train, is that right? 30-kilometer walk is a easy way. Think about Belarus with minus 30-degree temperature. The train was stuck on the middle of the road, no way to come out of it. And there is no way to break open the gate also. Because if you break it open, the HVAC system, whatever is running for some more time, it will die. More than 3,000 people died. It's not in the main media. 3,833 people officially died as per the report of the Russian government. How many people died in, the first nuclear bombs? Remember the name of those bombs? Fat Man? Yes. Only 3,000 people have died, and there is a big story, nuclear holocaust. There are many people suffered, no denial on that, okay? But official record, 3,143 people died in the 2 bomb blasts. Official death record. Many people died, after effect of that for a long time. Not on record, but that one day. 3,800 people have been killed mercilessly by a cyber attack. And the worst is the entire world knows that Ukraine has been attacked by Russia. Nobody tells that responded to the Ukraine's attack. Russia responded. Nobody knows about it. That is what is information warfare. So cyber, attacks is happening on the railway systems. It is happening on the power systems. It is happening on your manufacturing systems. A recent attack on one of the Russian, defense unit. So most important part of a defense unity is, your missile. Suppose if you have a missile, you have got nose of the missiles, which is designed and developed in a very specific, metallurgical, lab. that lab has been attacked. And you know the worst thing? The robotic arms of that machine has been burnt into pieces. There is something known as Industry 2.0. And the best example of information warfare is the American published a report. There is a entity within the government entity known as CISA, CISA. It is a security agency which actually sends the reports of the latest attacks. CISA releases a report that Industry 2.0 has attacked one of their factory in America. But actually, Industry 2.0 has been created by NATO agencies because I can see their footprints in their notes. But news came that Russia has created a new component which is Industry 2.0 and it attacked one of the factory. Russian news that Russian system has been attacked and this factory has become dysfunctional for few months or few days is not in any news. That is information warfare and that is cyber attack. Are you all clear with that? Cyber attack and the information warfare?
Yes, sir.
Industrial 3.0 has already come. Okay? The latest, malware, the arsenals that has come on the being. And the power of this to burn any one of the computer arms across the globes remotely. Even if you are disconnected. So when I was talking about sensor, I didn't talk about a specific sensor, RFID sensors. RFID sensors are very powerful sensors which are embedded in every device that you look for. And these devices can be remotely accessed and they can take control of the operating system to puncture and burn those systems. Industry 3.0, boys and girls are very, very destructive in nature. When you need your system the most, it will not work. I'll give you another example why I am talking about cyber warfare and cyber defense. One of the components is that 1.3 crore Indians have pacemakers. 1.3 crore people have pacemakers. How does the doctor know the pacemaker is working properly? Because they have every pacemaker, they don't have a chip machine here that they will open and check it. So they do it through sensor nodes, which is Wi-Fi and NFC sensors. And also it has got some component, the latest generation one also has got Bluetooth sensors. Now these sensors are not secure. They transmit the information. There was no investigation because there was no forensics doctors available for those type of very detailed digital forensics. One of the scientists dies. A day before that, he travels to the hospital. Everything is fine. I talked to him. Next day, he dies. That his machine didn't work. By the time we could really grapple into dark what to do now, we came to know his body has been cremated. The forensic could not be carried out. 2 days they waited, and after that they found there is no forensic guy, and then he has been cremated. Important is not a scientist. Person who was an important scientist who could have given something next generation to India. Now your mobile phone gives your identity, okay? Your personal identity, your email, your name, your all information about your mobiles are there with adversary. When you use your Oppo phones, when you use your phones and the operating systems, they are managed by somebody else. They monitor you. The girls are very smart. They carry their mobile phones in their purses. Okay? They don't keep it in their pockets. If you go to any factory in Korea or Japan, they use a pocket for keeping the mobile phone, which remains on the back, and that too on the left side of the back, and it is kept almost 6 inches away from your body. So there is a steel knob, and they keep it away. The reason is that even if the blast happens, a small damage will happen. But if blast happens here, you can die. 5,993 precise numbers of people who have died and the fire has been lost because the mobile blast has happened and that has killed the person. Is it by chance or by accident? I don't believe in the statement. The simple thing is that if you keep your mobile phone on your dashboard when driving the car, I drive a lot. I have driven more than 8 lakh kilometers in the last 20 years. So when you keep the mobile phone over your dashboard, the smartphones I'm talking about, the temperature goes up particularly if you are traveling from here to Jaipur in the month of April and May time, the mobile shutdowns automatically. It says that, heated up. Think about it. If your heat sensor is not working, what will happen? It will not shut down. It will cause fire. And fire can cause damage to your health and safety. So boys and girls, it's a very weird world. And we need to build countermeasures against each one of these things. All these attacks are lesson learned. If you get the same attack and you get killed, first time, आपको वीरगति प्राप्त हुई. Next time you are stupid. In this year, 23,000 distinct arsenal has been used by different countries to attack each other. I call it countries, I don't call it attackers. Because when you attack my power systems and aims, you cannot be a normal hacker. You do it for a purpose. You know that reasons why the aims must have been attacked? Because COVID-19 didn't do anything successful. Next mutations will be carried out based on the profile, DNA profile that was being studied in aims. People do not understand that because that will never come in the newspaper. And why I am running around from one college to another college to meet the young mind? Because you can solve some of these problems if you desire so. Once you think you will solve them. Boys and girls, everybody is talking about now open source. Open source, wherever you download any tools, any components, they are already been breached by hundreds of countries. Hundreds of countries. Yeah. So, we need to build our own open source and curated one. When the power will not work, and when your internet service provider will not work, we need to build our own Starlink. Are you all aware about Starlink? Elon Musk Starlink? We need to work even on the ad hoc communication. Your mobile phones are there. Why does it require tower to communicate? Mobile to mobile communication you can do, and you have million people together. All of you can communicate through the mobile phone to mobile phone ad hoc communication. And we have to make it a little secure so that interception doesn't happen. Only those countries will become the superpower in next 5 to 10 years time. Those who dominate the digital world. Digital world domination will happen if you have the cyber engineers. Okay, just one line before I close my note. I know I'll come some other good time and spend whole day with you guys if all goes well. But let me finish with this statement that 1990 everybody was talking about information and the name was information security. In 2010, information was secured, encrypted, kept in a very nice platform, full security has been built in, but information was not accessible to the rightful user at the right time. When you go to the hospital, you want to pay your deposit your money, credit card, debit card payment, it doesn't work because the digital card platforms are not accessible anymore. So everybody talked about in 90s about information two-component, integrity and confidentiality. 2010 DDoS and DOS attacks started happening. So everybody was talking about availability of the system is important. And then the new word came, cybersecurity. 2020, a very interesting word has been coined. In 2019, in one of the books written in NIST Institute of National Institute of Information Technology, Systems and Technology in US, NIST, the name was cyber resilience. They said that despite all the tools I have in place, all the countermeasures that we have built it, Chinese has brutally broken us every time whenever they wanted to break. So can I remain, after all the attack, can I remain operational day-to-day basis? And the name came cyber resilience. I was talking about this word cyber engineering since 2002. Nobody was talking about that. Most of the 400 more paper I've written the word cyber defense engineering since 2002. And trust me, 2022, in one of the conference in Taiwan, most of the security professionals from across the globe and the defense organizations reached there to discuss the problem, and they say cyber is an engineering problem, it required engineered solutions. Boys and girls, you are all in engineering college. Engineers are not those people, those who have engineering degree. Engineers are those who create something de novo altogether. If you are here to get a certificate and become a programmer, please excuse me, you are not an engineer. एक कारपेंटर के घर में जाओ और सीखो कैसे सीखा जाता है, बनाना सीखा जाता है, उसको कोई डिग्री की जरूरत नहीं होती। एक ज्वेलर के पास जाओ और देखो वो कैसे बनाता है, कितनी खूबसूरत चीज बनाता है। As an engineer, you can create the countermeasure of all the problem I have talked about, and I can continue to talk for years together, it will never end. But the solution lies in creating something de novo. Atmanirbhar Bharat is not a slogan, it is a need of the hour. 1990, Iraq purchased Scud missiles 82 to 90 times. When they wanted to fire Scud missiles on America, it never worked. Trustworthiness of the system was zero. What Sekhar sir was saying at hardware level, they have punctured it at hardware level. Scud didn't work. When you need your missile system to work here, if it is not 100% indigenous, I promise you it will not work. Why GPS? Why Navik has come into being between 2014 to 2019? Are you all aware about Navik? Navik is India's own GPS system. Now this GPS system will ensure when the target is set, it is not remain, it will go to the target whenever it is required to meet the objectives. So boys and girls, cyber is an engineering problem. We require you to take up, cyber engineering components. Just one more slide I'll show before I close it. I shown this slide to 106 companies, the top 106 companies of the country, and I'm still going to show slide in next 2 years time to many more. That do you have this capability in your office? The answer was absolute no. One or two say, yeah, I have got some of these capabilities, but when I gave the checklist to fill up, they said only 20%, 30% capability, we don't have full. Cyber is a full-fledged career for yourself, and you can do specializations in YouTube universities. You understand YouTube universities? You all are hot star in YouTube, boys and girls, is that right? I learned from YouTube University, I learned from IRC chart, and I learned from the messaging systems. The Twitters, Twitter's equivalent in dark web Twitter. So please go and learn yourself. There are 27 distinct, this PPT will be available. Otherwise you can visit my site cybervidyapeeth.in, where I will give you more information about it. But these 27 distinct company capabilities required. World needs 3 crore people. This year, 4 lakh people, those who have been given offer as a programmer, they have lost the job because there is no opportunity available for them. The LOI has been terminated. I'm sure all of you are aware about it. Please chase your dream where the opportunity lies. Don't chase the dream where the programming lies. Okay? Don't be the IT police. Be the brain, be the engineers. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have taken over time. If anyone of you want to connect with me, feel free to reach out to me. Don't try to call my mobile phone because this Android is my own version of mobile. You won't be able to dial this number unless I save your number, okay? It is not American mobile, it is Balaji's own mobile. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So request panel to please turn on the lights, stage lights, and also request volunteers to please help us in cleaning the couches. Do you have any questions? Anyone would like to ask any question right now before we'll proceed further for panel discussion? Yes. Volunteers are requested to please help me with the mic. Volunteers at the back, please join me with a cordless mic. Go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Kushal Sharma, and I'm from Jhunjhunu district. My question is that what is the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning in cybersecurity?
A very interesting question. I was supposed to cover, but I could not cover this portion of my talk. Look, most of the attacks, 90% of attacks are done by robots. Okay, you need to understand the definition of a robot. There is one gentleman or a woman, the smart man or a woman, behind the control and command centers. And then there are millions of machines which have been compromised which carry out the attacks. And these attacks uses machine learning as a part of deciding which type of attack I need to carry out. When you are fighting with a robot, the human eyes will make you fail. Okay? If you want to equate the battle, then you have to use the machine learning and robotics, capability to really match the skills. Because when the robot fights with the robot, it is between the equals. But when the robot fights with the human being, human will get defeated because of its persistence. So AI and ML is the most critical component of cyber defense. If you are not good at it, you cannot be a great defender. Thank you.
Sir, may I ask you one more question?
Please.
We all know that there is an artificial intelligence application ChatGPT. When we question anything, it can give answer by its own self. What is the? I think when we ask ChatGPT to make a code of XSS script, then it will make.
You see, ChatGPT I am using for almost 1.5 years now. Okay, it writes the codes better than the human being. Absolutely no denial on that. But still, it lacks a lot of area because the Excel area still requires a lot of components. So ChatGPT and any AI machines which can work on that, which work on reinforcement learning, can find potential solutions around that. Now, if when I'll tell you one simple example. ChatGPT is a big thing. It will be used by the world down the line. When I try to find out what is your ID and passwords, I use a simple same techniques. I go to the databases which are leaked databases and go and search for it. And then I found your name appears, your date of birth appears, your telephone number appears, your all ID and password that you have used in the last 20 years which has been breached, it is in the public domain. Now if I use a robot to find this information, it is a little faster. That's the only difference it creates. So ChatGPT does two things. One, it finds the information based on your things. It makes the queries. And the queries, goes to the right databases, which actually they use the reinforcement learning. And where the learning, the taming has been done significantly. So I was trying to use it for OWASP top 10 vulnerability. I found that XSS, it works well. But when I ask for, other vulnerabilities, manage the middle attack and other thing, it fails to deliver the right codes. But one good thing that I have done it, if you write a code with ChatGPT, there is a particular hashing system it uses. So we can detect that it has been done by ChatGPT and we can detect it in the real-time basis. So again, you use the same machine learning to detect the ChatGPT-based attack.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it from the question. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. All right, so it's time for us to go ahead and now go dive in deep thinking about how is cybersecurity revolutionizing in the job market and recruitment procedure. So let's go ahead and start this panel discussion. I would request the Dean Academics of University of Engineering and Management, because he'll be the panel moderator, Professor Dr. Anirudh Mukherjee, to please join us on this stage. Please एक बार जोरदार ताली बजाएं for the Dean Academics, University of Engineering and Management, as a panel moderator. Now may I request Additional Director from Tiger Food Processing Industries Private Limited. He is none other than Mr. Saptarishi Basu. Please एक बार जोरदार ताली बजाएं सर के लिए as our panel speaker. The next one is a Chief Operating Officer from Kriti Technologies Private Limited. He is Mr. Manish Sahu. तालियां थोड़ी सी जोर से जाएंगी तो एनर्जी आ जाएगी हमारी भी. Thank you so much. Next one in the panel discussion as a speaker is Associate Professor from Malvinagar National Institute of Technology, Jaipur, Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed. Next speaker is Vice President Information System and Security from Axis Bank Limited, Mr. Shubham Awasthi. And we'd like to request from Dell Technologies, the advisory consultant, Mr. Anay Pathak, to please join us on stage as a speaker. And next speaker is AGMS and Company Chartered Accountants, co-founder of Mindworks Advisory Private Limited, Mr. Alakto Majumdar. He is also the partner. We request her to please join us on stage. Now, following the tradition, first and foremost, Atiti Devo Bhava, which means guests are like our gods. We request Umesh Gunani sir to please join us on stage and welcome Mr. Saptarshi Basu, Additional Director, Tiger Food Processing Industries Private Limited. So एक आपके बेनिफिट की बात बताता हूँ, तालियां हमारे ब्लड सर्कुलेशन को बढ़ाती हैं। So एक बार जोरदार अपना ब्लड सर्कुलेशन कराया जाए प्लीज। Mr. Saptarshi Basu, Additional Director, Tiger Food Processing Industries Private Limited. Thank you so much. और ये हमारे राजस्थान की आन बान शान यानी कि पगड़ी। कमाल एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए प्लीज। Thank you, Professor Gunani. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Next one, I would like to call on stage Shantanu Sharma sir, if he is there with us. Shantanu Sharma ji, to welcome Mr. Manish Sahu, Chief Operating Officer, Kriti Technologies Private Limited. Clapping में थोड़ी सी जोरदार हो जाए please. To welcome Mr. Manish, the Chief Operating Officer from Kriti Technologies Private Limited. Next one is, I would request Mr. Sandeep Agarwal. Thank you so much, Shantanu sir. And thank you so much, Mr. Manish. Mr. Sandeep Agarwal, would request you to please join us on stage to welcome Mr. Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed, Associate Professor, Malvinagar National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Come on, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed, Associate Professor, Malvinagar National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Thank you so much. Now may I request Professor Dr. Anirudh Mukherjee, Dean Academics, to welcome Mr. Shubham Awasthi, Vice President, Information System and Security from Axis Bank Limited. Welcome, Mr. Shubham Awasthi. He's the Vice President, Information System and Security from Axis Bank Limited. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dean sir. May I request now Registrar of UEM, University of Engineering and Management, Pradeep Kumar Sharma sir, to please join us on stage to welcome Mr. Anay Pathak, Advisory Consultant from Dell Technologies. So welcome Mr. Anay Pathak. He is the Advisory Consultant, Dell Technologies. Mr. Rahul Sharma is requested to please be with us. Welcome, sir. And next one, I would request Mr. Rahul Sharma to please come on stage to welcome Mr. Alakto Majumdar. He's the partner of AGMS and Company. He's the chartered accountant and co-founder of Mindworks Advisory Private Limited. Welcome, sir. Next one, I would request Ashutosh Gautam to please join us on stage. So we'd like to welcome our panel moderator, Professor Dr. Anirudh Mukherjee, Dean Academics of University of Engineering and Management. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for Professor Dr. Anirudh Mukherjee, Dean Academics, University of Engineering and Management, Jaipur, and he is our panel moderator for this panel discussion. Students are requested to keep their questions noted because once we are done with the panel discussion, we can ask for the questions. Thank you so much, sir. So it's time for us to move ahead with the panel discussion. Professor Dr. Anirudh Mukherjee, all yours, sir.
Very good afternoon to all my respected seniors, Honorable Shekhar Das sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Sri Balaji sir. It has been a great honor and privilege for me to share and to moderate the session on the aspects of cybersecurity and his focus on career aspects. I welcome you all, sir, on the dais, and with your due permission, may I allow and to have a very candid discussion on the subjects pertinent to cybersecurity and its career prospect. To begin with, I will go to Sir Alakto Majumdar, sir. What is your take on the budgetary projections on cybersecurity by the government?
I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engineer because I couldn't do mathematics in my life. And I realized that you can't become an engineer if you are not good at mathematics. And I understand mathematics is called pure science because every time that equation or that formula must produce the same result. So when you are adding 2 plus 2, it has to be 4, whether you are doing it for Indian rupees or USA dollar or for some other currency or unit or liter or whatever, kilometer. And when I realized that the world can't be so straightforward, so I thought, let me move to commerce. Because in commerce, everything changes. You know the story before I get into this budgetary allocation, and I'll tell you why I am saying this story. That when a big company MD he is looking for his successor, he has called his head of marketing and said, "Let me know what 2 and 2 adds up to." So the head of marketing said, "It also depends on the market that you are penetrating. It depends on the brand strength. It depends on which product you are further launching, and therefore it can't be simple equation of 2 plus 2. Then he called the head of HR. The head of HR suggested that the human capabilities are absolutely different. So therefore, you can never have 2 plus 2 as 4. Because two human beings are completely different in terms of their strength, their weakness, as you are. And then he finally called upon the finance guy, the CFO of that company, and he asked this, 2 plus 2 makes what? The CFO stood up, shut the door, came back and said, sir, how much you want it to be? So that's where finance, I think, plays the role. How much you really want it to be. So now I come to budget, and you would understand why I set the context like this. A budget is what? For a country like India, you have certain policy priorities. You have to ensure that if we have some 140 crore guys out here, and I understand we have crossed China as well, now with 141 crore guys, you have to provide food. You have to give them road. You have to give them healthcare facilities. I was listening to Mr. Balaji sir. He said 2-3 years back we had a requirement of 11 lakh cyber security defense professional. 2-3 years back. And he is predicting going forward, India alone needs 25 lakh cyber defense professional. Do you know how many doctors do we have in India? Any guess? In India, after 70 years of independence, we have 11 lakh doctors. Just 11 lakh doctors throughout India. And WHO recommendation is one doctor at least for 1,000 guys, which means for 141 crore guys, you need 14 lakh doctors minimum. Currently, we don't have. Now, with many education institutes coming up, now we have a capacity to produce 1 lakh doctors a year. So maybe 4 years down the line, we will reach that milestone what WHO has prescribed. Now, given that situation, now we are moving to an area where the number of cyber security engineer will be required more than the doctors that we need to, for our countrymen so that they can survive. That's to me, that seems like an irony, but perhaps that is the truth of the life, because I realized when I was coming to this program, I had my doubts why I am coming to this program, and I expressed this doubt that I am a man from finance and this is all about cyber security. But I realized that this has actually opened my eyes. I mean, I realized that I live in a completely different spectrum. When I heard Mr. Balaji has driven 8 lakh kilometers in last couple of years, I have driven in last 11 years 30,000 kilometers. And the car I drive, that brand has told me when I took my car to for servicing last time, they said, sir, you would be, I'm sure if you tell this to our brand, they would offer you some price. And they felt that this is possibly the lowest driven car in the entire Delhi NCR region. So when I was listening to Mr. Balaji, I felt that we live in two complete different spectrums altogether. Now, coming back to your budget, sir, and I said all this because I don't know whether the mic will come back to me or not. And if the Bengalis are fond of speaking, the moment you give them a mic, they don't let it go. I mean, they think this is an opportunity and they will continue to speak. Anyway, sir, for the budget, this year we do not know. Last year, centers, and I am referring my mobile phone. I mean, during my school days only, I realized that you should refer before, answering anything. So, I continued that habit. I am not afraid of my mobile phone if this is hacked or this is stolen or if all sensors are sending all kinds of signal to everybody, I am still not very afraid, because I get this strength from my father, who is 87 years old. He is living in Calcutta. His phone can only receive SMS, and for deletion of SMS, he requires tasks. He said, so many SMS, can you delete this? So I realized if that man can very peacefully, lovingly, lead his life, we should also be able to do that as well. So, sir, this comes under MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Mr. Ashwin Vaishnav is the minister who is also the railway minister. So, now that we have so many persons who have died at Belarus, I think he would be the most concerned person, because he handles both MIT and railways. In one of our meetings, I am sure we will also take it up with him, because we work with government very closely. Last year, government in their budget, they allocated 14,300 crore to Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. However, out of this 14,300 crore, 10,676 crore was further allotted to Digital India program, because Narendra Modi himself and the government itself is fairly geared up to provide this e-governance architecture and this digital piece. So a lot of money out of 14,300 crore, 10,676 crore were within that money allotted to this Digital India program. The cyber security project had a share of 300 crore. So if we have 141 crore guys in India, and if government puts 300 crore in the cyber security project, Mr. Balaji has to travel 16 lakh kilometers, raising the awareness among all of you, so that you actually become a cyber security defender. Just to put this in perspective, USA government spends 8 to 9 billion US dollar on cyber security. 1 billion means 100 crore. 8 to 9 billion, multiply this by 100 into 82, 83 rupees. That's the kind of money that USA spends. Shekhar Dutt sir mentioned that in 1991 he was visited by an Israeli expert and a French expert. Israel government spends more than 1 billion US dollar every year on cyber security. So, sir, coming back to your question, we have to do a lot of catch-up. We only allocate 300 crore so far, but if you ask me, we can interpret the numbers in a different manner as well.
Thank you so much, sir. I believe we are nice to go. Nonetheless, I will try a paradigm shift in our perspective, because the need of the hour demands something else. When coming to Anay, sir, what are the key trend areas of cybersecurity that you feel the student needs to focus on?
Yeah, I think first of all, I'm honored to be in the distinguished panel. So thank you so much. Working for Dell Technologies, we do a lot of security transformation, right? And people talk about security transformation, but we are in a data decade, right? And data is growing ever since whatever we predict. We are not able to predict the right data which will be there by 2030, right? So in this data decade, everyone generating so much of data except Balaji sir, because he's not connected to the social world. We try to do a lot of analysis and try to find something meaningful out of data. And that's what AI/ML is, right? Driving something meaningful out of data, right? So with digital transformation and COVID had basically led to accelerated digital transformation. Whatever institution or education system or healthcare system was looking at digital transformation 10 years down the line would like to do it in 1 year and would have done it in 1 year, right? This was out of syllabus. The COVID out of syllabus tha, jaise exam mein hota hai, right? Everyone has to be prepared for it, where you got a question out of syllabus and you have to still answer to it. Education system, I'm not sure how many of you like the online classes, but has to evolve certainly to an online world, right? From a offline world to a digitally connected world. So basically, when you do so much of digital transformation, you are generating 20 or 30 or 40 times more data than it was supposed to be generated, right? And when you generate more data, you would have to look at cybersecurity. And everyone talks about cybersecurity, everyone talks about number of jobs. I interact with organizations globally where they have more demand than supply, right? If you want to build your career, and if you really want to look at cybersecurity, as Balaji sir said, cyber defense or cybersecurity engineers is something which everyone is looking at, because with digital transformation, when everything is connected from edge to core to cloud, everyone is looking into a connected world where you can get information on the go, how secure it is, right? Alexa is listening when it is connected, right? And I think there was a picture which was shown, right? So if you talk about a furniture, and if you want to buy sofa with your wife, next day you will get ads of sofa. Even if Alexa was not connected to internet, not switched on, just connected to the power socket, that's it, right? And then you have smart TVs, you have cameras, all of them are working in your favor, but then they are also working in someone else's favor. And that is where data leakage, when it happens, is the biggest threat which we have to avoid as we move forward, right? So we need to look at these smart appliances. We all want it. We would look at digital transformation, IoT, AI, ML, cloud, edge, core, whatever technology we are talking about. But then comes the word ethical use of AI, AI for human progress. Because if we are not able to use this technology for human good, where machines are ready to collaborate and help us, versus the other side of it, I think would like to learn from Balaji sir, right? The dark side of it, right? Because there's a lot of things which can happen if it is leaked, right? So I'll tell you, in New Jersey, one of my friends, when during the COVID times, right, the hospital beds were all occupied, the parks were all occupied because of COVID patients. Now, how do we, so patients are there on the bed, but how do we train nurses? So the nurses were trained based on AR, VR headset. And they could train 1,000 nurses in a day because everyone had AR, VR headset where they know how to cure, how to take care of a COVID patient, and what are the best practices available, right? So this was good side of it, right? Because now you have technology which is augmented reality, virtual reality, where you can do live demonstration, sitting somewhere outside and making sure that the nurses are trained to cure those patients, right? So all of these positive sides creates a lot of positive energy on our side, but then comes the threat around cyber security, which we have to look at, and then we'll have to see how we can minimize the dark side of it and look at positive side of it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable inputs. I mean, we believe that the breaching of data is a big challenge nowadays, and we need to counter, to obtain measures to counter it. Coming to Avasti, sir, can you, what is your expectation, since you are coming from a financial sector? What do you think your expectations from a financial sector has from engineering institutions?
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to put one disclaimer. These are my personal views. And second, I want to congratulate this institute, the director, the management, because two distinct things which I saw here. We go multiple colleges, universities. One, here at director level, sir was talking about DDoS, means peripheral security, then phishing and wishing. When director of an institute is so aware about the cyber aspects of peripheral security, then phishing and wishing and possible aspects, then definitely institute is going enrich with his knowledge. And second, the students, I would like to clap for the student, because apart from the faculty or the experts like Balaji sir or our senior Dutt sir with his enhanced experience, here students were talking about Google GPT and AI ML, which is the distinct things for the students of this organization. Now I come to the point. See, from BFSI perspective, as we have heard a lot of examples, किसी का पैसा निकल गया, किसी के ATM से पैसा निकल गया now. And one another statement made by the sir, very right statement, that whatever innovations we are doing, those requirements are coming from the users. So from BFSI, on one side, we have to satisfy the regulator. On another side, we have to make the things easy for our consumer or the user. If account opening is not easy, if cash withdrawal is not easy, then customer will shift to the another bank. So on one side, we have to satisfy the regulator. Second side, we have to make the life easy of the customer. And third, having said so both the things, we have to keep things secure because we are liable. We are under obligation for the customers' money security and governments. Multiple aspects of the related to governments are depends on the banks of this country. So now, when we interact to the institutes, when we go to the campuses, so see, when my generation started working, we started from the virtual machine scenario. Now we are running on the containers. And I mentioned, by 2030, what would be the reality, no one knows. Even the job description for the 2030 is not available as on today. What will be the JD for the students passing out in the 2030? And there is a huge gap. I would say that fundamentals are very important for the students. You may not work in the industry if you say my OSI model nahi padunga, I want to work on the cloud. No, OSI model is equally important because all the fundamental building blocks of the technology are dependent on that. So on one side, you have to study the OSI model as seriously. On another side, whenever you are investing your time on the social media for 10 hours, 8 hours, 5 hours, just take 10 minutes or 15 minutes from that time and just do the Google. What is happening around these fields? If you talk about the automobile industry, your day-to-day work, Alexa, mobile phone, what are the basic precautions we have to take? And what all these technologies available, which you can just read of your interest. And believe me, whenever any interviewer comes, we don't expect you that you are champion of the cyber security, you are champion of the cloud security and all. We just want whether do you have the mindset of that? Because cyber is again the mindset of the person. So that is also equally important. And for the organization, if organizations can arrange few workshops, lectures around the cyber security, which can give some feel to the students. They are not required to be made champion of the cyber security, but at least if they get some look and feel, some jargons, what is container, what is cloud, so that is sufficient to crack the interview. And for the industry, if candidate is aware about what is cloud or what is cyber security, then we will make him, aware about the industry's requirements and we will train them to make us work for us. So these are the only fundamental requirements which we are looking towards from the students and the organizations.
Thank you, sir. Actually, the students need to be trainable. The basic aspect is they have to be trainable and they have to be absolutely thorough about the fundamentals, the basics. Coming to Mustaq sir. As you know, cyber attacks are very common nowadays. So, what is your take to prevent, like Shannon, that 2012, how to prevent from such cyber attacks?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this interesting talk. The very first thing is that we just require to look into that. If suppose a device which is to be used for communication purposes for all this technology advanced for communications and in all aspect, we are not aware about this type of the device which we are using. Second thing is that we do not know about the operating systems which is being used for the device, who have made that, what type of that internal component or the part of that routines which may be vulnerable or that are being made and that is not been disclosed. So number of the design architecture of the device we are not aware, the operating system which is in use we are not aware, the application which is being generated we are not aware. In that case, the device which we are using for our purposes of communication or other computation work, that is also vulnerable. So awareness about that is very much important, and for that it is required for a safe and secure country that the device must be our own architecture, and for that purpose, you may be knowing that the HFT processor has been created by the IIT Madras. How many of you are aware about that? So that was made of using that 486 processor, multi-core processor, and the emphasis of that was made to get aware by using this ISA project, which is International Security Education Awareness Program, which has been initiated by the Government of India. The various NITs, IITs, they are the part of that. They are this essential vulnerabilities and the cyber security mechanism that is being taught to the student. So more interactive way, and the challenges which are currently being faced, the students are advised to go through those type of the challenges and mitigate those type of errors and generate the robust device which can handle those type of the attacks which are currently being made. So efforts are currently being going on, and the research in this very area is very much essentially required in our aspect. As the other learned people have stated that in every level of abstractions we are having those type of the vulnerabilities that are required to be explored, and we have to make our own design and the systems to make those type of the devices which can be used as a safe device to make our country more safe. So the thing is that having a platform like a good academia institutes, we have all those type of the tools and techniques which are currently available or that need to be available to get explore those type of that cyber attacks or the vulnerability issues in that currently that devices which we are using. In that case, only we will be able to handle those type of attacks which are currently being faced on in future that would be targeted to exploit our life and other uses. So the challenges in all different level of the abstractions are there, and we must have the knowledge. And the platform like the education institute, they must have those type of the courses as that was suggested and insisted by that eminent person who leaders, that such type of activities, if it has been initiated, in that case you would be more interested in those type of the challenges which currently we are facing, and having those type of that programs, collective programs, or that industry academia interactive programs. In that way, you will be able to get the more knowledge, and I hope that in future you will be more better in order to make the cyber secure nation, and in all those type of that challenges currently which have been faced in the communications, the vulnerabilities of using the quantum computing, that the more robust type of that space plus type of that algorithms which are being generated, and the modifications that have been made, that those type of applications which may be using the such type of that algorithms that will make the more sustainable and robust type of the device or design which will mitigate all these type of the attacks. So I hope that such type of that knowledge will be imparted among the students, and they will be able to make those the robust environment in the India to collectively combine to make the better nation, and the application and the devices which using this ISA project we are doing. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. That we need to do a lot of rework on the algorithm levels to enhance and our site to counter the cybersecurity threats. Coming to Manish, sir, I would like to hear from you. What is your take on, let's say, how to make the students trainable on the aspects of cybersecurity?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. First of all, thank you very much for inviting us here. See, basically, what I feel till now, every year we conduct interviews and recruitment drives, and almost 500 to 800 interviews I try to conduct myself along with my team. So what I have seen, most of the candidates, they remember the definitions. You know, in one of the interview I asked, if one of the shirt takes 1.5 hours to dry up, how many hours this 12.5 shirt will take to dry up? The answer came 12.5 hours. And the person got 9.5 CGPA. Will you believe? I asked someone, he's from mechanical. I told, why do you want to join IT? He says, no, sir, I am interested in IT. I told, that's okay, but what about mechanical? I know, okay. So what about heat treatment? Then he made the faces, no? I cannot explain. And see what happens. I'll tell you, let's come to the practical work. Yesterday I am revealing the discussion what I had with Pasu sir. हम दोनों में बात हुई थी कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर $5 billion ही बचा है. Do you know or not? All of you know. बसु सर ने कहा उसको वाइप आउट कर दे तो. Yeah. So we need professionals who can do it, not the people who remember the definition and this is what is cyber security, this is what we can do. Nothing like that. I'll tell you, will you believe it or not, as on today, there is not a good indigenous car engine is developed by India. Not एक मोबाइल ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें आप कह सकते हो कि इंडिया ने डेवलप करा है from design to the manufacturing. एक नहीं है. Because we enjoy working for others. Why? Because we lack knowledge. We lack that capability to. हम लोगों को काम नहीं करना. हम लोगों को सर पैकेज कितने का मिलेगा? 8 लाख मिलेंगे क्या? भैया 80 लाख दूंगा, 70 लाख पे कमा के दोगे क्या? We don't want to learn. We don't want to learn to apply. We want to learn to earn. So the first mindset, what we need, you don't train yourself to get a job. You train yourself to do the work. आज आप किसी ट्रेन में जा रहे हो और अगर उसका ट्रेन ड्राइवर he has learned only that much that he can operate a train और किसी एक्सीडेंट को कैसे बचाना he doesn't know, then what will happen? So that happens. See, people, basically the student need to understand what exactly cyber security and how they can learn it to make sure they can apply. Not just remembering the definition. Okay, maybe I am differing with Mr. Avasti because he was saying if person knows such and such thing, the remaining things can be trained. And what I believe, basically, you spent 4 years in the engineering college by learning so many subjects, and most of the subjects, what I have seen, candidate doesn't remember even the definitions, and they got very good marks because the intention was to get the marks, not get the knowledge. So the first thing is your intention has to be right. You need to be on the target that I need to learn this. How much marks I'll get, that is all okay. Are you getting my point? So the thing is, the cyber security, if you are, you have to become a geek. You have to, I'm using this word, basically, आपको उसके अंदर चले जाना है, you get involved. How many of you follow cricket? How many you watch cricket, you play cricket? Okay, how many centuries Virat Kohli has it? 73 or 74? Okay, कल आ जाएंगे एक और. See, what happens now? You are too much involved. You didn't take even a second to reply for it. But same thing, अगर आपके अभी किताब में से कोई क्वेश्चन पूछे ना तो आधे बच्चे इधर उधर देखेंगे. Because you are not involved with your studies, ना यार ठीक है. पापा ने पैसे भरे हैं, मुझे जाना है, टीचर डांटेगा. That is what is our thinking, isn't it? Are you getting my point or not? So we need to come out from that mindset. That is the first thing required for learning cyber security. Second thing, once you learn it from the application point of view, not from the scoring marks. Are you getting my point of view? See, I'll just share one joke. It is in Hindi. So we are in Jaipur, so I think everybody can follow Hindi, isn't it? See, in jungle, there was an election, and by mistake, एक बंदर ने चुनाव जीत लिया. The next day, the DA came and told कि मेरे बच्चे को शेर ने पकड़ रखा है तो महाराज कुछ करो. अब बंदर नीचे आया, दूसरे पेड़ पे कूदा, इधर वापस कूदा, नीचे गया, जंगल की तरफ गया, वापस भाग के आया, फिर ऊपर कूदा, फिर नीचे कूदा. हिरण बोलता है साहब इतना देर करोगे जब तक तो मेरे बच्चे को खा जाएगा. बंदर ने कहा देख भैया तेरे बच्चे की गारंटी नहीं लेकिन मेरी भागदौड़ में कोई कमी नहीं. This is how nowadays students learn in the college. How much you got 9.6? But if you ask the basic question, they are not able to answer. How you got 9.6? I don't know. Are you getting my point? So basically, we have to make a mindset that we are here for learning, not for scoring marks. आपकी भागदौड़ से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. That is first thing. Second thing, as Balaji sir told, YouTube University. आप इतना इन्वॉल्व होइए कि YouTube पे जितने भी रिलेटेड वीडियो है, Google पे जितने भी रिलेटेड उसके ऊपर साइट्स है, you go through each and every sites, make your own notes, try to understand. You know, you might get lot of contradiction. एक वेबसाइट कुछ और के लिए, दूसरी कुछ और के लिए. Try to make your own analysis कि कौन सही है, कौन गलत है. That much deep you have to go. Isn't it? Then only. And the second thing, as we were discussing about this Pakistan crisis and how we can do it, you put a target in that level. You know, you will be one of the cyber warrior for India. If you put that target, then definitely you will involve. And once you get involved, then definitely you can do a lot of things. Thank you.
So just one other statement that I had made. In last class, I listed what is cybersecurity, what is cloud. Till the time you start correlating with your daily life, the moment you open the Amazon or Alexa, and the thing comes to your mind there, how it could be possible without cloud and containers, then you start correlating. That's sufficient for the job. Or you are running in the or driving the XUV 700 with the ADAS. If it gets hacked, what will be the implication on your driving? Whether you made the accident? If those kind of examples you start realizing without going into the deeper into what is container, what is the technology behind that and everything, then still you are going into the right direction to get the jobs and opportunities in the cyber.
100% agree with you. Now, what was my mean to say that if you just know the definition of container, isn't it? Because we have seen the candidates, they just know the definition of container. That will not work. And people, you know, very happily they say, blah, 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 blah. You ask something, they have like, you know, I don't know, the speed it comes out, it is going to beat this Vande Bharat. You ask the definition, they say, I know container, this is container. Okay, Baba. Are you getting my point? You ask someone, generally we do ask, you know, write a code or just tell a logic for some simple program. He will say, sir, I'll start with the coding, stdio.h. Then you ask, what is the meaning of stdio.h? He doesn't know. What it does, doesn't know. But he will write the code proper. So I was discussing about that. Not only like, you know, you need to understand container, but not definitions. Am I right, sir? We are on the same plane? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's very true. We need to focus on the application-oriented learning and outcome-based education instead of just rote learning. That is the need of the hour. Well, coming to Bashu, sir, I would like to listen from you. And sir, what is your, what is your take on, let's say, if I say about ethical hacking? How do you see as ethical hacking as a vocational skill? To counter our cyber terrorism and cyber attacks.
Okay, wake up call to everybody. Those people who are relaxing with their backs stretched, with chatting to everybody else. I want to chat with so many young people around. You know, see, with white hair sticking perpendicular to this black face, which I look as half baboon, I generally feel like when I look at black hair and white faces, I get energized. Okay. So, gentlemen, who is interested in Hollywood movies? I want to see one person who has not seen a single Hollywood movie. Please raise your hand. Not seen a single Hollywood movie in your life? Good, very good. You will bring country to progress. Because Ramadip Singh used to say in Gang of Wasseypur, क्योंकि हम सिनेमा नहीं देखते. Okay, so that person is very dedicated for his work and he is not went to Hollywood movies. But I am the other lot. I am the notorious types. Okay, who has seen Under Siege 2? Okay, Under Siege 2 is little dated. Who has seen Die Hard 4? The Taklu fellow and the few people in the container moving around. Anybody? Okay. Now coming to ethical hacking. I will start with a very small story. Few years back, 2.5 years back, I had a very close friend of mine, an IES officer working in Indian Ordnance Factory. And we were sitting across in some closed group discussions, just informal one, with some IG crime guy. And we were talking about illicit arms. So then I asked him that, okay, you have a specific design department. I just listened to this very carefully. Yeah? You have a specific department, an entire Ishapur rifle factory with 6-axis machine, 5-axis machine, CNC lathe, metallurgical refractory, about 100 acres of facility, and you are trying to manufacture 3.52 caliber machine in SAS. Okay. So what subject is required? He said, he gave me 3 subjects. Internal ballistics, intermediate ballistics and terminal ballistics. So as an illiterate person like me does, he asks only one person, Google Baba. Google Baba, please tell me what is that? 3 huge volumes and book came. And as it would happen, I am averse to books. I fell asleep before I could complete it. Then, as luck would have it, I come from a very brilliant place called Bihar. And from that, a very interesting place called Begusarai. Everybody heard about Kanhaiya Kumar? Yes, sir. Okay. Near Begusarai, across the Simeria Bridge, there is a place called Munger. Now, if somebody knows Munger, I know why I am talking about this. So, one fine day, I teamed up with some shady people to find out, and with that IAS engineer by themselves, let us go and find out exact copy of a Webley Scott. With some amount of illicit money and some wrong contacts. When the 2 devices were put, I could not make out which one is original, which one is false. And the person who had made it was some XX human Mia or whatever it was. And I can trust you, trust me, he had read no books on interior, terminal as well as intermediate ballistics. And he did not know about gyroscopic stabilization, Coriolis acceleration, wind drift, and precisions. And also what is the axis of the rifling bore, whether 2.5 rifling bore will work or a 3 rifling bore will work per inch. What is the slope? How many grains of the charge, whether it is a slow charge, intermediate charge or a fast charge, which will basically give the propellant sufficient pressure down the barrel line. But that thing kills. Looks exactly like original. So when you are talking in the world of hacking, when you are talking about cyber security, it is not your textbook knowledge as people have said, it is your passion which makes it work. Just think about one thing, like we are talking about cyber defense, cyber war. I offer anybody, how many people are going to die for a prize? I want you, there will be an MG42 with a caliber 9mm projectile shooting at 23,000 bullets, and it will be running like this. All you are required to do is run across certain field of this MG42 firing 3 or 5 nests at least, and plant a flag on the other end. You will get certain amount of salary. Who is going to do it? Any volunteers? Question looks stupid. But the essential fact is the people on the border do it at regular basis. They did it at 1948. They did it at 1962. They did it at 1965. They did it at 1971. They did it at 1991. And they're doing it in Doklam crisis. What motivates you? When you are talking on these domains, where one laptop, you can shut down an entire country. It is not puck, 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 which works. You know, when I talk about me, meh, somebody said it's meh. You know which animal I am trying to mimic. So, first ingredient to become ethical or unethical hacker is ingrained deep passion. And when you have passion and the profession becomes together, you have entrepreneurs and you have basically movers. There are two kinds of people. One which comes from my traditional birth caste, Bengalis. We are very good in going to offices and we clock 9 to 5. We know the exact number of CL, PL, paid leave, and how much is the grant, ex gratia, everything, and we, without fail, avail each and every benefit till before it is exhausted. That's my culture. I have been doing it for 25 long years till I decided my employers have got enough of me and they kicked me out. So I became an entrepreneur. So either that kind of person you can become and you can pass your life. Please believe me, you will exist. Your forefathers existed, your grandson will also exist. But if you want to break into somebody's code, fight a mind game
Is there any measure of that? How many of them have been caught? How many of them have been busted? And what is there any policy that has come out, major policy that has come out of any of these cases, if there is any data of that sort? Anybody can, sir.
Sir, can I direct the question to Balaji, sir, because he is a domain expert.
So, if you look into the cyber attack.
So please, volunteers, please assist.
So the total number of cyber cases reported in 2015 was 50,000 with Computer Emergency Response Team of India. 2021, the total number of reported cases is 14 lakhs. And I promise you the 2022 story will be at least double that number, which is around 25 to 28 lakhs. And there are 4 major policy decisions that have been taken by the government of India. One was definitely, IT Act 2000, which has been amended once again in 2008. Then in 2008, President signed a guidelines on cyber security. It was for every organization across the country, including the simple, I can give you one example of that. All the government organizations and the education institutions have been told not to use Gmail as an ID. It was signed by President of India in 2008, but it has not percolated down the line societies very well. Then there are 3 major changes that happened as an organization. The 3 entities has been created to look after the security and various aspects of security. So there was one organization, National Cyber Security Coordinator Office is there inside the Prime Minister's office, which was created in 2002. Then there is another office has been created in 2014, which is known as National Critical Infrastructure Protection Cell, NCIPC. Now, NCIPC is the dedicated for critical infrastructure of the country. And there are 9 infrastructure which has been declared as a critical infrastructure, which is transportation, which means air and rail and roadways. The financial sector, the banking and financial sectors, telecom sectors, health sectors. Like that, you have 9 area for that. And then the last policy, that has been created by NCIPC, a new standard has come, which is known as Cybersecurity Framework for Critical Infrastructure. And as I speak, a new policy document is almost around the corner. I'm part of that committee, and February, it will get released, which will be the omnibus security posturing for all the countries. Because now no attack is happening on big country or big companies or government companies. Now they are doing horizon scanning, and anyone who is weak and they are being shattered. Which means that every medium and small manufacturing entities, MSME entities, they also need to be equally protected, because that is where the India's, the hurt lies. So that new policy is in the line in a couple of months from now.
Is there any report on how many of these cases have police been able to catch?
Okay, so on cyber crime cases, the amount of fraud reported last year around 2 lakh. There is a number which is known as 1930. Anyone of you are aware about this number? 1930 is a number which is a department is there, which is known as I4C department within the Ministry of Home Affairs. This number, if somebody reports a crime within 3 hours, which is known as golden hours. If you can, any fraud has happened in your, digital vault or, Paytm or something, please report it to 1930 within 3 hours. 93% chances of getting the money back is there. And as a matter of fact, out of the reported cases of 24 crore, within 3 hours, 21 crore money has come back to the person. So it's a very high number. So please keep the number 1930 in everybody's mobile, and please give it to all your near and dear ones, including those who are working in your house, your village. Please pass on this number. Any fraud reported to 1930, chances of detection is very high. And number of cases which are being detected is very high, and there is a committee now working on how to automate the detection and response. Once that automation happens, then chances of detection of fraud will go up exponentially.
I just thought to supplement, and I'll take possibly 2-3 minutes on that. We also have in Delhi lawyers collective called Vidhi Center for Legal Policy. It's a not-for-profit organization, and we very closely work with government. For example, the Data Protection Bill of Justice Regional Committee was primarily drafted at Vidhi only. On your question, sir, the frauds are reported to the cyber police section. Now, in India, because of its federal structure, it is actually under the state government. And because of this distributed criminal justice system, all these data primarily reside with the state government only, and there is no central database to collect, because this comes under law and order, which is a state subject guaranteed by the constitution. So therefore, collecting this kind of a huge database for the entire India is slightly difficult. I am sure there will be solution coming forward, because there are jurisdictional issues, constitutional issues. How many cases have reached the highest level? For Supreme Courts and High Courts, there are databases available. So, if you want to do bit of a research on that, all data is available, whether which kind of cases eventually move to High Court and Supreme Court level, what is the current status of that, and whether the Supreme Court or High Court, they have come out with any kind of a
on that constable, that 27,000 money was given back because there are these insurance claims, etc. You would find in most of the cases, and we also have our personal experiences as well, bank would return the money. Bank would return the money. So as far as the money is concerned, the common individual is more or less protected, because we do not know where the bank will debit. Maybe Axis Bank may tell us, but we know that the money would be debited. Now, giving just one example, I was reading from this cyber crime cell of Noida. They said a crime was reported of 1.84 crore, and how the crime was done. The person was told that you put your money in cryptocurrency. And these days, everybody talks about blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, etc. Now, that person downloaded an app which almost looked like a kind of a crypto exchange, and he put some money from his bank account, and it was shown that his money was increasing very significantly, and greed drives us, many of us. So therefore, he started putting more money, and one day everything was snapped. And when the cybercrime department started investigating this, they realized that through Binance, these cryptocurrencies were bought and the money was taken out. And initially, the money was for a very small time parked in a deceased man's account. And they say there is this site called Cloudflare. Many of you would know. They also allow you to hide your IP address. So it has been reported to the cybercrime department, but currently they have no clue as to how they would further take their investigation on. So there are, of course, legal challenges. There are also technological challenges, and I'm sure in future we will get an answer to all this. Thank you.
One small correction, there are two major e-governance components have happened in policing across the country. A tool known as CCTNS, which has been launched in 2004, now it is fully functional. And any FIR lost with regard to cyber crime, board goes to a database of NCRB, which is a centralized government entity, and they publish this report on it. Annual report of MHA is published by NCRB, and these details are available already. That's one. Second thing is that even though jurisdictional issues are there, 2014 I was in PwC that time, and there was a committee has been formed where the recommendation happened. I4C will be created, and cybercrime.gov.in will be the single place for reporting a crime. And anything that is reported to cyber CCTNS in any of the states, a copy of the message goes to the I4C directly using the cybercrime.gov.in website. And anything which goes to the cybercrime.gov.in, vice versa, it goes to the right state for filing the FIR, and FIR number gets generated from there. So the process is already automated, and the databases are centralized across the country. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I would like to add something. Okay, so do we have any more questions? Yes, yes, please go ahead. Volunteers, please assist. Will not take more than 2 questions. That's the last, so we have the second last one coming up.
जैसे कि आज सारे बच्चे सिर्फ इसलिए कॉलेज कर रहे हैं ताकि डिग्री मिल जाए और बाद में सिर्फ पैसे के लिए सिर्फ जॉब चाहिए. I want to know what is the purpose our to do our job, just for money or something that we can achieve something great.
And how this is related to cybersecurity, by the way?
Just for in every field it can be asked.
You can, but I would highly request you, in case we can keep track on the topic, it would be nice. But anyway, sir, please go ahead.
Now, thing is that there is a very old concept. What do you do with a job? जब शादी करने जाओगे ना, लड़के वाले लड़की वाले ही पूछेंगे, लड़का काम क्या करता है? Okay, so you can basically earn money by laying bricks. You can be the best bricklayer. You can start producing shoes. You can be the best shoemaker. Job takes about 80% of your productive life. If you go by 4 ashramas of life, the words where Grihastha ashram is there, after your brahmacharya ashram stops, and then you become a productive individual. Till the time you become a non-productive asset, very close to where I am going. Okay, so what you are is determined by the title which is there in front of your test. So it is not only for money. Money is definitely a concept, ability to buy goods and services. The more you delve in money, you will start understanding. I will not risk opening my mouth and proving my stupidity in front of financial goods. So money is one part of the package. First is engagement, second is identity, third is purpose. What are you born for? You want to make a difference to your society. That is why when you will select what you want to do and what your calling is. Because, but if you are a specific animal which works in a herd, if you basically follow herd instinct, you will select what others select. So if you want to make a difference, you will select a job which is your calling. So that is the reason why people take a job, because they want to contribute to society. That's one of them.
Thank you so much, sir. And thanks to the panel for this amazing discussion on cybersecurity and the steps that you do it. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं हमारे पैनल के लिए. And Mr. Nikhil, please join the seat down the stage. Thank you so much. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Alright, it's time for us to move forward, and I would request Vice Chancellor sir, Dean sir, Registrar sir, and Director sir to please join us on stage. And also our chief guest, Sri Shekhar Dutt sir, Professor Dr. Satyajit sir, Professor Dr. Biswajanjali sir, Vice Chancellor, Registrar sir, Pradeep sir, to please join us on stage. Panel से request है, please आप अपने स्थान गेन कर सकते हैं. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. Thank you. एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं हमारे पैनल के लिए प्लीज. So it's time for us to give the token of thanks and the appreciation to some personalities, some dignitaries that we have today with us, and we call it as Award of Excellence. So it's time for us to go ahead and announce some names. So to begin with, may I request Sri Mahesh Sharma, he is the former director, Department of Employment, Government of Rajasthan, to please join us on stage. Sri Mahesh Sharma. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं for Sri Mahesh Sharma, he is the former director, Department of Employment, Government of Rajasthan. So please accept this gratitude as a word of excellence from our side. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं once again for Sri Mahesh Sharma, former director, Department of Employment, Government of Rajasthan. Thank you so much. Next one we have is the Assistant Director, Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan, Shri Vivek Bharadwaj. So Shri Vivek Bharadwaj is the Assistant Director, Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं विवेक जी के लिए. Congratulations, sir, and thank you so much for doing amazing work. Next one is Sri Mahesh Kumar Sharma. He is the former Deputy Director, Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry, Government of India. Sri Mahesh Kumar Sharma, joining us on the stage. He is the former Deputy Director, Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry, Government of India. Next one we have is the Deputy Director, Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan. She is Srimati Navrekha. She's got a very fabulous profile. She is an RDS officer and 1996 में चली थी. उसके बाद 25 वर्षों से, from last 25 years, she is doing tremendous work in terms of employment, employability, skill development. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. Srimati Navrekha, Deputy Director, Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan. And then we have a renowned personality with us, Sri Manoj Bharadwaj. He is the founder of Nupur Sansthan, a social activist and a person behind many success stories. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं for Sri Manoj Bharadwaj, founder Nupur Sansthan. Come on, एक बार जोरदार तालियां for Sri Manoj Bharadwaj from Nupur Sansthan. Next one, I would like to request Sri Rajendra Kumar Meena. He is the District Employment Officer, Department of Skill, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan. एक बार जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करेंगे श्री राजेंद्र कुमार मीना, District Employment Officer, Department of Skills, Employment and Entrepreneurship, Government of Rajasthan. Next one, I would like to call upon stage Ms. Hasina Parveen. She is the CEO and Editor-in-Chief, World Growth Forums. And we have some announcement as well for her. But before that, एक बार जोरदार तालियां for Hasina Parveen. तालियां प्लीज एक बार जोरदार होनी चाहिए इनके लिए. And the announcement which I was talking about, we are proud to announce that Sri Shekhar Dutt and Professor Dr. Visuja Chatterjee has been selected as WGF Person of the Year 2022 from India by the international magazine World Growth Forums. I request Managing Director of WGF, that is World Growth Forums, Sri Aman Kumar, and CEO of World Growth Forums, Srimati Hasina Parveen, to please come on stage for the unveiling of their annual issue cover page. So may I request the Director and the CEO from WGF, that is World Growth Forum, to please come forward for unveiling of their annual issue cover page. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for WGF. And it's a proud moment that Sri Shekhar Dutt sir and Professor Dr. Visuja Chatterjee has been selected as WTF Person of the Year 2022. Come on, एक बार जोरदार तालियां. Okay, so that's the cover. Congratulations, sir, and congratulations to the entire team. Thank you so much. Next one, I would like to request the HR head and factory manager from Lords, Durgapura Alkai Limited, Shri Purushottam Das Matha. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए पुरुषोत्तम सर के लिए. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Congratulations, Professor Sir, and thank you so much for doing the amazing work that you do. This is a token of thanks from our side. Next one is Mr. Shubhadi Mukherjee. He is the Assistant General Manager Solution from Vodafone Idea Limited. Mr. Shubhadi Mukherjee. Do we have Mr. Mohin as well, sir? Mr. Mohin, he's not here. So Mr. Shubhadi Mukherjee, he is the Assistant General Manager Solution from Vodafone Idea Limited. Please take part in and the next one is the Managing Director from Akriti Labs Private Limited. He is none other than Mr. Amit Bhargava. We request you, sir, to please join us on stage. And there is, sir, you can also join us on stage. Please, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for Akriti Labs Private Limited, SRL Diagnostics. Mr. Amit Bhargava is the Managing Director. Please accept our token of thanks and gratitude. Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you so much, sir. Next one, we have Mr. Pranav Virmani. He is the Deputy Manager Learning and Development from the Oberoi Rajvilas. Miss Pranav, sorry, that's my mistake. Miss Pranav Virmani. She is the Deputy Manager Learning and Development, the Oberoi Rajvilas. Please एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for Miss Pranav Virmani, Deputy Manager Learning and Development from the Oberoi Rajvilas. Congratulations to you, ma'am. Next one we have is the Senior Executive Talent Acquisition from Wipro. She is Pooja Khandelwal. May I request Pooja ma'am to please join us on stage. Come on, एक बार तालियां जोरदार होनी चाहिए. Pooja Khandelwal, Senior Executive Talent Acquisition Wipro. Congratulations. Now may I request Circle Manager HR from AU Small Finance Bank Limited. He is Mr. Ajay Gupta. May I request Ajay sir to please join us on stage. Talia Sota please. Circle Manager HR from AU Small Finance Bank. He is Mr. Ajay Gupta. Congratulations, sir. Next one is from Design to Occupancy Services LLP. We have Deputy Manager Human Resources Ashok Chandra Joshi there with us. We request Ashok sir to please join us on stage. Shri Ashok Chandra Joshi, Deputy Manager Human Resources from Design to Occupancy Services LLP. Congratulations, sir. I would also like to request Shri Rajneesh Vyas, sir. He is one of the training partners from RSLDC, REIL, NIIT, and ILT. Would request Shri Rajneesh Vyas to please join us on stage. प्लीज एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं इनके लिए भी। Congratulations. The next one we have from Saint Gobain India Private Limited, from Talent Management, HR, Mr. Shiv Sagar Sharma. Would request Shiv Sagar sir to please also join us on stage. Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and big congratulations to you. That's it from our side from the Award of Excellence presentation. Now we have some live sessions. Okay. So we can continue after the lunch break. So we are taking a lunch break, and after that we'll enjoy two live sessions. So we'll be back by 3 o'clock.
I want to request all of you, there will be two live sessions. We are running short of time, and if we do it now, it will be half an hour again delayed, which is not the proper thing to do. Let us go for the lunch in time. We promise 2:30 lunch. Let us go for that. And I request all of you, if you are present in the live session, you will really enjoy it, because here there will be a demonstration like your phone can be totally cloned by another person, and whatever activities you are doing in your phone, that can totally be checked from the other person's mobile. Now, how many of you have seen the students over here? How many of you have seen Family Man 2? Most probably Family Man 2 was the series. How many of you have watched that? I think there it was shown that the daughter's phone was totally cloned by the father, and he used to check. Now that is going to be demonstrated how that can be done and how it can be prevented. So that will be demonstrated by Mr. Nitik Lal. So I will request all of you after the lunch, if you come back for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, you will be able to see that live demonstration, which we wanted to do prior to lunch. Sorry, we could not do it. And there will be another small 10 minutes presentation again by Vodafone to demonstrate that how they are ensuring cybersecurity in Vodafone network. Okay, so these are the two things we'll come back for after the lunch. So let us target 3:30. 2:30 is the time now. 3:30 we can come back and start these two sessions of 20-25 minutes. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you.
Okay, so I hope to see you all. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy the lunch, and then we'll be back for live sessions. Thank you.